Hello and welcome to Penguin Live, where you have the best seat in the house for the best magic in the world. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Dan Harlan, and the gentleman that we have with us this time around is exciting to me because this is my first opportunity to see him perform. Now, he has been described as an underground sensation, and whenever you hear that, well, your ears perk up and you're like, well, what is this guy about? I checked a little bit into him, and he doesn't really consider himself to be a magician or a professional magician. He is a fan of magic, and he's taken that love of magic to new levels by designing his own stuff. He's written a couple of books in which he shares his unique perspective on his card magic and coin magic, and those books have received accolades from the best in the business. And based on what they've said, I can't wait to see what he has to share with us. Now, he's going to be doing all coins, so if you are interested in coin magic, you've got to check him out. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Jeremiah Jzuo.
Hi, thank you, Dan. I'm so excited to be here. I really appreciate you guys having me out. And as Dan mentioned, I'm kind of new to this world of publishing and sharing my magic with magicians. But you know what the most amazing thing about publishing magic is? And Dan knows this. He's been publishing magic since before I knew what a pinky break was. The most amazing thing about publishing magic is not when people share kind comments. That's awesome. And it's not the joy of seeing other people do your material, which that's super exciting. No, the most amazing thing about publishing magic is how fast the Chinese piracy websites start selling unauthorized copies. It's really, really impressive. And you know you've made it when you can buy your work for 39 cents at super mega awesome fantasymagic.com. So that's what I consider my greatest accomplishment. But I did want to share some of that magic with you guys here today. And as Dan said, it's going to be entirely a coin lecture, so I thought I'd get right to it. I want to start with a trick that I call a 6-coin trick. It uses 6 coins, but only 3 of the coins exist. 3 of the coins exist, and 3 of them don't exist at all, so you don't really have to worry about those. For example, I have a coin on each of my elbows. Can you see that on camera? Can you see those coins, Dan?
No, I don't see it.
That's strange because those 2, they actually exist. Those are 2 of the ones that are real. I also have a 3rd coin behind my ear, a 4th coin behind this ear, a 5th coin in my mouth, and a 6th coin in my beard. But those last 3, they don't exist. Just the first 3. These 3 exist. These 3 don't exist at all. Now, the coins that exist, they're very similar to the ones that don't exist. It'd be easy to confuse them. I mean, these are all silver coins. They're, well-worn, minted, old dollar coins, minted in the late 1800s. And these coins that don't exist, same size, same shape, also silver, also minted in the late 1800s, well-worn, except this coin doesn't exist. This one exists and this one doesn't. Now, these coins that don't exist, they're interesting because they kind of exist a little. Because we're able to think about them, we're able to talk about them, we're even able to manipulate them. Look, if I take one of the coins that doesn't exist, and I squeeze it, just a little bit of effort, look, it disappears, it vanishes, it's gone. It doesn't exist. Well, it never did, but now it doesn't even not exist. So now I have 3 coins that exist, I only have 2 coins that don't exist. I used to have a 3rd coin that didn't exist, but now it doesn't even not exist. It still kind of exists a little because we're still able to talk about it, we're still able to think about it, but now it's 2 steps removed from reality. Here, I'll do it again. Look, I'll take another one of those coins. Doesn't exist. And you can see, that coin clearly does not exist. I take it in my fist, nothing goes up the sleeve. With just a little less effort this time, look, it vanishes. It disappears. It's gone. It doesn't even not exist. So now I have 3 coins that exist. I have 1 coin that doesn't exist. And I have 2 coins that don't even not exist. Look, I'll take the last coin that doesn't exist. I'll squeeze it. Vanishes, almost no effort. It's gone, doesn't even not exist. So now I have 3 coins that exist. I don't have any coins that don't exist. I have 3 coins that don't even not exist. And the best part is, I still have 6 coins. No matter how much I make stuff vanish, I will always have 6. Look, if I take one of the coins that does exist, squeeze it, look, it vanishes, disappears, it's gone. That leaves me with 2 coins that exist, 1 coin that doesn't exist, and 3 coins that don't even not exist. But focus with me on the 2 that do. These coins, they clearly exist. You can see them, you can touch them, you can hear them. But if I snap my fingers and I make one of them disappear, that leaves me with just 1 coin that exists, 2 coins that don't exist, and 3 coins that don't even not exist. And here's the best part. If I take the last coin that exists and I make it disappear and it vanishes, to the uneducated, it looks like I have no coins. But you and I know better, Dan. We know that I have 6 coins, 3 that don't exist and 3 that don't even not exist. And you could explain this to people. You could tell them about the coins that started on each elbow. You could recall how I also had a third coin behind my ear, a fourth coin behind this ear, a fifth coin in my mouth, and a sixth coin in my beard. If you're feeling cheeky, you could mention a seventh, eighth, and ninth coin. Those are the counterfactual coins, the coins that would have existed should I have chosen to start with them. If you just feel like lying and embellishing the story, I don't mind. You could tell people that I did this with 10, 11, 12 coins. You could tell them it was a 12-coin trick. I don't care. You and I, we know the truth, that it was a 6-coin trick with 3 that exist and 3 that don't.
Oh my. Wow. Wow. Now I'm having an existential dilemma here. Because I got to tell you, I loved every bit of that. But my favorite part was like that middle bit with the coins that originally didn't exist, that now don't not exist, because I think I can handle the sleight of hand for that bit, and the rest of it just masterfully done. And I love this presentation. I just love this. It's so good. And I believe if I'm correct, that you're featuring something of your own that's gotten a lot of buzz. And is that the drop that we're getting a little bit of there?
Yes, you're getting a little bit of the drop, and
Yep.
I do plan to share that with you. I'll show you a few other things. If you like that presentation, and I got something great for you. Here's a trick with absolutely no presentation.
Okay.
Another 6-coin trick. This one, no presentation. I'm still going to use 6 coins, although I need the other 3 to show up on camera better. So we're going to use 3 different ones. We'll use 3 Chinese coins so you can tell the difference. I still want you to be able to tell the difference between the silver coins and the other ones. So we'll use 3 Chinese coins and this purse. Now, I'm going to put the Chinese coins back in the purse, but I want you to see, you can see on camera, there's nothing else inside the purse. It's just the Chinese coins that go inside, and they start inside the purse. And the trick begins with the 3 silver coins. They start outside the purse, and with just a little wave over the purse, one of them begins to change. You see the magic start to happen. That's the first silver coin having changed into a Chinese. We'll do it again. With just another wave, you see a second one also changes into a Chinese coin. The last one we'll do long distance, tap, tap, just another tap, and we get all 3 Chinese coins now outside of the purse, and of course inside the purse we have the 3 silver coins. So there's my 6-coin trick without a presentation.
Yeah. And this is the thing. When I see coin magic, I love it when it's quick, it's direct like that, and visual. It's one of the things that coin magic has going for it. And sometimes this kind of very direct demonstration presentation really works, because it's like eye candy, and that visual shake of getting that Chinese coin each time, really nice work.
That's right. The best, the less movement possible when you're doing a presentation like that, the better. Well, let me explain to you how it's done. It actually wasn't magic. It was these Chinese coins. They're kind of special. I don't know if you've seen anything like this before. This is, well, here, let me see. Yeah, this is what we call a, what was it, the late 18th century China, like 1780s. There was a guild of metal workers that were commissioned to mint some coins. And what they did was they built a bunch of user-unfriendly features into the coins. Like the weight's off, they're like the really slick and slippery, hard to hold on to. There's all sorts of secret grooves, like hundreds of features that they built into these coins, which makes them really easy to lose. In fact, it's almost impossible not to lose them. They call them Chinese escaping coins, like seemingly slip out of the pocket, stuff like that. It wasn't magic, though. It was just this fine craftsmanship. And now, it was in my great uncle in northern China, Timothy Jones. That wasn't his real name, but I don't really speak Chinese, so it's easier for me to pronounce. Uncle Timothy, he won a bunch of these in a series of games of chance. And so he took them home, and then they've been passed down in my family ever since as kind of like family heirlooms. And that's total nonsense, because these coins, we're constantly losing them. I think Uncle Timothy lost them all before he even got home. But now whenever anyone in my family finds them on like eBay or something like that, we buy them, take them home, and we say these are the coins that have been passed down. But they have really interesting properties, and I thought I would demonstrate some of them to you. To do that, I had this commissioned. This is it's a Craig Osterling coin prison. Built by the famous coin sadist Craig Osterling. It is a solid brass containment unit, and you can put a coin inside, and when you put the cover on, there's no slits, there's no holes, there's no way for that coin to escape, and it's pitch black inside. It's a perfect way to punish coins that have been especially ill-behaved. And I thought that this would be a perfect way to show you some of the neat properties of the Chinese escaping coin. I also brought these silver coins just because I thought they could kind of be like, like guards. Like if I put one on either side of the Chinese coin and we put them inside the prison, then, well, there should be no way that that Chinese coin could get out. Of course, this is a Chinese escaping coin. So you see in just a second, out from the prison, out from between the two silver guards, Uncle Timothy's Chinese escaping coin. And that seems impressive, and it is if you haven't seen these before. That's actually kind of par for the course for these coins. Almost any Chinese escaping coin can do that. I'll do it again. We'll do it slow. We'll leave the coin sandwiched in between the two silver ones. We'll leave them sticking out right into the last moment. You see it goes in, and whoa, that was even faster than I expected. It did. From the box, from between the two silver coins, the Chinese escaping coin. This is actually a good one. This might be able to do the famed reverse escape. I think it's a shot. Because the best test of these Chinese escaping coins is when you put just the silver coins inside the box. And then you take the Chinese coin and, actually, since we got one of these good ones, I brought this along just in case we found a coin of this caliber. Because what we can do is we can bind the coin. We put this ribbon through the coin. It's seemingly bound in place. And actually, if we wrap the ribbon around the fist and tie it kind of tight, then it's super secure. There's no way that Chinese coin should escape. Actually, getting off ribbons is child's play for a Chinese escaping coin. Just, there it goes. I felt it. But the real question is whether or not it was able to make its way here inside the box, in between the two silver guards. Can it be, yes, Uncle Timothy's Chinese escaping coin?
Man, it's so good. Before you started this lecture, I had mentioned to you that coin magic in the right hands is very, very good, but generally speaking, it's my least favorite. But now, I want to watch you perform with coins forever. You are so good at this. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys the next time because obviously this is just real magic. There's no way that Jeremiah is using any kind of sleight of hand, right?
Well, yeah, and so it is possible to teach this. It is possible for you guys to learn it. And before I start revealing the secrets, I thought I would do a little bit of just pure coin magic, just for Dan. Dan doesn't like the coin magic as much, but I wanted to do the purest coin magic that you can do. And the purest coin magic that you can do is unaided sleight of hand with just a single coin. So I wanted to do just a little bit of unaided sleight of hand with just a single coin. Watch as the single coin apparently jumps from hand to hand. Hard to keep track of. And believe it or not, that takes place with just one coin. I use only one coin for this trick. This is not an extra coin. Well, it is an extra coin, but it's not part of the trick. This is just in case, like good professional always, worst case scenario, in case I were to lose this coin, or someone accidentally walked off with it. This is just an extra coin. It's like the coin's understudy. But I promise I use just the one coin, not to, sorry. That's another family heirloom. That belonged to my great aunt Timothy. Yes, this I keep it just for sentimental reasons. It has nothing to do with the trick. Just the one coin, the extra, and then the family heirloom for sentimental reasons. And, honestly, I don't have a good excuse for that one. So I guess it's actually a 4-coin trick. I'm kidding. That would be silly. I promised you a 1-coin trick. I'm going to show you a 1-coin trick. If at any point it looks like I'm using more than 1 coin, pay no attention. It's just an illusion. I don't have a 3rd coin behind this ear or a 4th coin behind this ear. I don't have a 5th coin in my mouth. I don't have a pocket underneath my elbow where I keep a 6th, 7th, or an 8th coin. I promise you it's just 1. Actually, that's a total lie. I don't even know a 1-coin trick. I'll show you a 4-coin trick. I'll show you a 4-coin trick. And really, this isn't even a trick. It's more like a life lesson, something that you guys will all be able to take home and be better people after having heard and seen. Because, I knew this guy once. His name was Ted, and he was a rhubarb farmer in rural Pennsylvania. And Ted had 3 farmhands. Hired farmhands. He would have preferred friends, but farmhands are cheaper. Now, Ted and his farmhands, they had a problem. You see, his rhubarb farm was surrounded by a forest infested with man-eating bears. There was a particularly nasty bear in the forest. His name was Morto the bear. It wasn't his real name, but it's easier for me to pronounce. Morto caused no shortage of problems for Ted and his farmhands. In fact, it got so bad that one day, one of Ted's farmhands thought he would take it upon himself to bring an end to the bear carnage. So he took a brisket, and he made his way into the forest all by himself to see if he couldn't barter a piece with Morto. Unfortunately, it wasn't a real brisket. It was just a bunch of mashed rhubarb molded into a vaguely meat shape. Morto, being a bear, had an excellent nose, saw through the ruse, promptly ate the first farmhand, leaving just Ted with 2 farmhands. Now, the second farmhand was so incensed at Morto's behavior that the very next day he went off into the forest by himself to seek revenge for his fallen friend. Unfortunately for him, Morto had been in the bear game a long time, and he knew that quite often when you eat one person, shortly thereafter follows a second revenge-seeking person. In fact, this is such a common occurrence for bears that they have a technical word for the second revenge-seeking person. They call them dessert. So Morto promptly ate the second farmhand, leaving Ted with just 1 farmhand, and leaving that 1 farmhand with all the work to do, which you would upset the farmhand. But he was actually quite happy with the whole turn of events. He hated the first 2 farmhands, thought they were jerks. In fact, he was so happy that the very next day he went off into the forest by himself to thank Morto for making his life better. Morto appreciated the show of gratitude and said that he was happy to help any time. And then he promptly ate the 3rd farmhand, leaving Ted all alone, still with no friends, and now with no farmhands. Although in his solitude he had a lot of time to think, and think he did, and he actually had an epiphany that solved all his bear problems. You see, he realized there wasn't a forest infested with man-eating bears surrounded his farm. In fact, he didn't even have a farm. His real name was Bill, and he was an accountant in Cleveland. He was having dinner with 3 friends, watching TV, eating pizza. The entire thing had been a vivid daydream he concocted to escape a boring story. And so
you just have to give me a moment, because you took all the time to write that, and it's beautiful, and I absolutely love it. I've seen presentations. We're seeing presentations of plots that just are really, really kind of unique. I mean, they're definitely unique. This is really a different way of thinking about coin magic. I have some stuff where, I personify the coins and do some weird things like that, and I really, really love this, but this absurdist is fantastic.
Thank you. Let that be a lesson to all you guys watching. Go out and ditch your friends and get some farmhands. They're cheaper. I'm going to do one last thing before I actually start really explaining the tricks. And I saved this for last, not because it's best, because it's the worst. It's the worst. I hate this trick. I mean, it's a classic trick. You've all seen it before, but it is the worst. It's my least favorite of all the tricks. I hate doing it. It is terrible. It is a terrible trick. Not for you. Not for the audience, obviously. I wouldn't do it if it was a terrible experience for you. But for me, as the magician, it is, just there are some tricks that are no fun to perform. This is a classic magic. I'm sure you've seen it. We're going to use these 4 coins, and it's the trick where the 4 coins go across. The trick where the 4 coins go across. And all right, fine, here we go. Okay, that's coin number 1. Coin number 1 that has gone across. Now, maybe if you're new to magic, or if you're not a magician and you're watching this, you're like, what's the big deal? I mean, obviously, if you toss a coin from hand to hand, if you drop a coin, nothing unpleasant about that. But when you try to make the coins go across magically, it's really no fun. Well, I'll do another one. Here we go. Oh, that's 2 coins that have gone across, and that's probably enough. You guys get the idea.
No, I'm enjoying your pain.
Okay. All right. Okay. 2 coins down. That's 1, 2, 3 coins. 3 coins that have traveled. Okay. The last coin. This trick is so terrible that most magicians at this point cheat. They use some sort of joke or hang ping chen or some sort of bluff. But just for you guys today, I'm not going to do that. I will actually do the last coin. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. 4 coins across at my expense for you.
Yes. Well, I'm probably wrong for enjoying that. I never knew I was a coin magic sadist, but you've converted me.
Anyway, so I did all that, all serious now, I did all that to demonstrate mostly a series of techniques that I have been using for some time, almost 20 years now. I'm really not I'm not a magician, but I'm certainly not a coin magician, but I have been able to fool magicians occasionally into thinking that I'm a coin guy. And really, I've done that with one thing, or one technique, one family of techniques, which I call the drop, which Dan has mentioned. And really, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Now, in its basic form, I'm trying to think if I did it just in its basic form. In its basic form, it's a way to vanish a coin, right? It's a false drop. Now, when you're talking about ways to vanish a coin, false transfers, there's a lot of different categories. You have false placements like a retention pass. You have false pickups, moves like that. And I wanted a false drop. Now, there are options. There are options for doing false drops. There's moves like this one. That's a good one. There's moves like this one. I like that too. And then maybe kind of like the granddaddy of them all is the Himber Vanish. And I can't really do the Himber Vanish, so don't judge the Himber Vanish by my poor technique. But the problem with some of those, or at least potential problem, is why do you pick any particular false transfer? Why would you use a retention pass over a pickup? Sometimes it's just preference. Sometimes it's just your aesthetic preference. The situation doesn't really call for one or the other. But there are times when your context, either the presentational context or your physical context, really call for one move versus the other, or one would fit better. And so there are times when you'd want to be dropping a coin. At least that occurred to me. And for some of these moves, like this one, this is a really contrived position, right? A lot of tension, and so it really doesn't substitute for a retention pass. There's really no reason you'd ever use that over a retention pass apart from preference, because it's the same amount of tension, same amount of focus. And then with the Himber Vanish, the aesthetic is perfect, but it's almost not a false drop, because you really do drop the coin into your hand and then you steal it back out again with the Himber Vanish. You just steal it pretty instantly. But because of that, there's always going to be a pause. You're always going to drop the coin, and then there's a pause right here, a moment of hesitation. And the guys who do it well, it's fine. They get past it, no problem. Then the other issue is it's not exactly in a palm position. You kind of have to move it. You have to adjust your hands. And so all of that adjustment, all of that tension, it's kind of antithetical to the whole idea of dropping a coin, when you just casually, I'm not caring about what I'm doing. Because when you really drop a coin from hand to hand, it looks like that. Not really, because I didn't really drop the coin from hand to hand. When you really drop a coin from hand to hand, it looks like that. That time for real. Right? So I wanted a false drop that involved just as much time, just as much tension, just as much effort as when you really drop the coin and when you don't. And so that's what the drop is. Now, I'm going to explain this. This is not that difficult. This is not that hard. I personally think it's way easier than something like the Himber Vanish, and you guys can learn this. And I found that breaking it into two steps, two hands, really helps. So I'm going to teach first the dropping hand, and then I'll teach the receiving hand. So what you're going to do is grab a coin. And it's worth mentioning that I use silver dollars a lot. You can also do this well with half dollars. Half dollars, perfect size coin for this. The weight is helpful, as well as the flash of silver, because as you'll see, this moment is really key. And so the bigger that flash of silver, the better. Half dollars, silver dollars is what I would personally use. I wouldn't go smaller than that. But so anyway, you start with a coin in basically finger palm position, right? You relax here, your finger palm, you extend your hands more naturally. It's just resting at the base of the fingers. And from here, it's really natural to push the coin up to that kind of first middle joint, that middle phalange right there, as if you were going to, flip the coin, heads or tails. And from there, it's really easy to drop the coin out of the hand. And so that's the action that we're going to be mimicking, except what I'm doing is I'm opening these three fingers and creating a pad so that when I drop the coin, it falls on top of the pad of fingers. So a couple of things here. You want to have pushed the coin up far enough so that to drop it, I just lift up just a tiny bit with a thumb, just a tiny action of lifting with the thumb, and the coin tumbles out. You don't want to have to be if you're too low, you have to shove it to get it to go. You don't want to be shoving. You don't want to be doing anything like that. It wants to be right up there, right ready to fall, just so you lift the thumb and it falls. And notice that it does one full rotation. So if like the head is facing up, it lands, and now the tail is facing up, or I guess you would call that maybe a half rotation. And so it's really important, the position of your hand when you're doing this. Because notice that I'm not grabbing the coin to stop it from hitting the table. It's just landing on the pad of my fingers. That's where you want to be. You want to find the angle such that when you let go of that coin, it lands and you don't have to do anything to stop it from hitting the table. Right? Because if I had to grab at that coin, that's going to be tension, that's going to be focus, that's going to be effort that will show through in the technique that you don't want. The key to this technique is how casual and loose you're able to do it. And so you have to find the correct angle so that when you let go of the coin, it does not fall and hit the table with no further effort from you. Now, of course, you're not just going to leave your hand there. You relax into finger palm. But that's kind of the opposite of work. You could describe that as doing no work, right? Because this extending my hands is work. Relaxing my hands, that's just ceasing to work. And then it's right into finger palm. So from the dropping position, you drop it, you relax into finger palm. And then, of course, you can repeat it. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to go put on your favorite movie. You're going to grab a coin or a stack of coins. So if you drop it, you don't even have to think about it. And you're just going to do this. You're going to thumb the coin up to the fingers, drop it. Thumb the coin up to the fingers, drop it, and do this over and over and over until you don't have to think about it, until it's very casual, easy action. I can do I think 45 of these in a minute. I've timed myself once. I don't have to look. I'm not afraid of dropping the coin. So that's what you want to find. You want to get comfortable doing the basic dropping action with the dropping hand first. And then you need to bring in the receiving hand. And you could just describe the receiving hand's action as just mime catching the coin. But the blocking is actually kind of really important, and it's worth talking about. So this hand, you're ready to do the dropping action. You've got that down. You're comfortable. You're used to doing this. This hand, wherever it's starting, is going to swing up and open, and then swing back down, closed. Swing up, open, and swing back down, closed. But the height is not intuitive, because when you drop a coin, you think lower. I want this hand lower to catch it. But the actual height that you want to be at is about the same height as the dropping hand. You're going to bring that hand pretty much all the way up. And I've taught this to many people, and they always feel like they're blocking too much. Like, oh, the audience can't see. But you're not, because this is the entire moment. This is the entire vanish. This is what creates the vanish in the spectator's mind, is this moment where they see a flash of silver in front of the fingers. So this hand comes up and it's blocking pretty much everything. All they need to see is that brief flash. That's it. That's all they need to see, is that brief flash of silver tumbling into the hand. So this hand comes up, it blocks, and you can even use your hand as a guide. In the beginning, you come up, touch. So all my fingers kind of align. I touch and then move forward, and I know I'm at the right height. And then I drop and mime closing the hand. And so then the nice thing about this is from here, as I said, you relax, you're in finger palm, you don't have to do anything. And you can also go straight into a Ramsey display without any fidgeting, without any thumb movement. Your hand does the drop, and immediately you're in a kind of a Ramsey display. So the hand comes up, you closes, turns down. Now let me say a little bit about angles for this. You can do this fully surrounded. This is not something I was aware of when I first started doing the technique, because your golden angle is like here and then all the way here. When you're blocking correctly, when you're doing it, and like when your hand is at the right height, it is invisible from here to here, or it's a perfect optical illusion. It's one of those things where, like, look, even if I do it in slow motion, your brain forces you to think that coin fell into that hand. And so this hand provides that blocking from like here all the way, over here. You're golden. And I used to think that my extreme left, when I'm doing the dropping with the left hand, my extreme left is the bad angle, right? Because you don't have any blocking. So I just thought you couldn't do it if someone was standing on your extreme left. However, when I first started sharing this with magicians, 13, 14 years ago, I remember distinctly I was at Midwest Magic in Chicago, and I was sharing this with other magicians, and there was someone sitting on my extreme left who said, "Wow, that looks fantastic." And I said, "That's not possible. You're at the bad angle, right? You can't, you haven't even seen, let me show you it for real. Come here and look at it." Good. He was like, "No, it looks great." And what I realized is that from the bad angle, it is just a slightly different technique, right? From your good angle, when your blocking is correct, it is a kind of perfect optical illusion. It forces your brain to think the coin goes here. And in my field, we talk about implicature, conversational implicature. There's what you imply, and then there's what you actually directly say. And you could talk about that visually in magic, right? Some techniques say things, and some techniques are closer to the end of the implying spectrum, right? Like if I place a coin in my hand, I do a pretension pass, I'm saying, hey, this coin is in this hand. You do something like the Gauchman false toss, that's closer to the implying end of the spectrum. And so from your perfect angles, this says, hey, man, that coin is in that hand. It's perfect optical illusion. From your bad angle, what it becomes is closer to the Gauchman false toss. Because it's so casual, because it's so natural, because there isn't a lot of tension or focus on your part when you're actually doing the technique, from your bad angle, the brain just fills it in. I lectured on this once, and there was someone who came in late. He didn't get a seat, and he stood at my bad angle the entire time, and this was at this point where I knew in my head, people have told me it looks good from that angle, but I still thought, no, it doesn't. And this guy stood at my bad angle the entire lecture, never once was in any of the good spots. And at the end of the lecture, he came up and he said, that was my favorite thing I've ever seen. And he actually hired me to give him private lessons. He loved it so much. So I finally started to realize, yes, you can do this surrounded. It's just a slightly different thing. When you don't know what's happening, your brain fills everything in and tells you the coin is landing in that hand. Of course, because I knew what was happening, whenever I'm looking at it in a mirror or something, I'm like, that doesn't look good. But, it's like the Gauchman false toss. It just, your brain makes you believe it. So, okay. I like the vanish. I think it's nice. It is a good false vanish. But if all it was a way to, just another coin vanish, okay, fine. Maybe you want to learn it. Maybe you say, hey, that looks cool. I want to learn it. Maybe you're like, I'm fine. I've got enough coin vanishes. And I wouldn't begrudge you that at all. But I do really think that this is worth spending time to learn. And that's because of the wide array of supplemental techniques that become possible once you've learned the basic mechanics. So for example, let's say you have a coin already in finger palm. You can use the drop as a shuttle pass. And this is a very natural, very casual, very visually fooling shuttle pass.
I have to interrupt on that because that is just unbelievably good for the visual retention of the same coin. Because, when you see that coin coming through the free fall for the beginning of the drop and then just apparently landing there, even on this camera, I think if we were to slow it down, you would see one blend right into the other. It looks so good. Yeah. Yeah.
I use this as a shuttle pass all the time, and so I'll quickly explain that mechanic before I show some of the other things. You're basically doing the same kind of action. So where you've got a coin already in finger palm this time, though, starting however your hand is or whatever the context is, and you're going to come up the same way as you did before to open to receive the coin, but instead of open and closing as you do when you do the vanish, you open and you kind of follow through, and you just kind of keep going forward. And I like to raise the ring finger so it kind of flashes the face even more towards the audience. But so you just come up, do the correct blocking, open, and just follow through. And you do that as you come up and do the drop. So you come up, you do the drop, and this hand follows through, comes forward. So again, it is almost visually perfect. It's impossible not to see the coin falling and landing in the hand. It just forces your brain to do that. But so as you were saying, Dan, it's such a good illusion that you can actually do it with a contrasting coin. So let's say I've got a contrasting coin instead of another silver coin. Now you get a mid-air color change.
Yes.
Now it looks like you've got one coin, and it looks like that coin changes in mid-air into a different coin. Now you can draw attention to this. Why wouldn't you? It looks great. You say, hey, watch this coin. I'm not even going to touch it. And you see it'll just change in midair into a different coin. But it's also possible to not draw attention to it, right? Like, how do you not draw attention to a spellbound? It's like, oh, look, I don't notice the coin is changing. You can't. But here, you're able to do this in such a way that, oh, I can not notice that the coin changes, for a second or two, and then look over and, oh, it's changed because of the nature of the technique. You can actually, I don't really do this much anymore, but you could do it with the jumbo. You can go, boom, it changes into a jumbo coin. You can do, get a nice retention, and it still changes into a jumbo coin. However, the shuttle pass is not my favorite thing. I think the shuttle pass looks great, but it is not my favorite thing, and it is not the primary reason why anyone, I think, should bother learning this. A lot of great shuttle passes. They all are fantastic. The real reason why you should learn the base mechanic and then these techniques is because of the sound element. Because you can repeat this. You can repeat this, right? I can do it once, and I can pick up a second coin and do it a second time. And now I've got a 2-ahead click pass. I've got a 2-ahead click pass with no tension, seemingly no effort or work, and I'm 2 ahead. And that's just by repeating the technique. Because if you have a coin in finger palm position, so if you've done it once, and you pick up a second coin, you can do it again. And it's just going to land right there on top of the first coin. Now, I will say that after you've learned the base mechanic, adding that second coin for whatever reason, it messes with your brain, so you'll drop the coin a few times. You'll go, why is this not happening? It messes with your physical memory, your muscle memory, and you drop the coin a bunch. Which actually, it just occurred to me, you might even just try learning it with 2 in the beginning. So you're just always having 1 coin already there in finger palm, and then it's probably easier just to remove that and to do it with only 1. But because you're doing this, because it is falling and landing right here in finger palm, it is going almost the same distance whether it was actually going to fall into the other hand, right? So let's hear. I'll drop 1, drop 2 into the other hand. Legitimately dropping 2. Now we do the drop both times. Same sound, same look, but now I'm 2 ahead. And you can do this, forever. You can do 1, 2, 3, and look, I'm 3 ahead. I wouldn't do that. It's very difficult to motivate, like picking up coins one at a time, dropping to the other hand, but you can. However, this click pass forms the basis for what, and I hate saying this, but hey, I'm just a fan, so fans are arrogant and dumb all the time. So I allow myself to be arrogant and dumb sometimes. It allows for what I consider potentially one of the best false counts in the published literature. So if I have 3 coins, it's very natural to count 1, 2, 3 coins into the other hand, like that. But now let's just do the drop once in the process. So let's count 1, 2, 3. I've apparently counted 3, but I've retained 1. So watch again. 3 coins, and we count 1, 2, 3 legitimately. Now let's do it again. 3 coins, we count 1, 2, 3, but I've retained 1. It looks the same amount of time, same amount of effort. Now let's do this. 3 coins, and we count 1, 2, 3. Again, same amount of time and effort, but I've retained 2 this time. Now I'm 2 ahead. You can, however many you want to get ahead, you just do the drop instead of actually thumbing the coin off. Now, that's how you get ahead, but if you wanted to, say, count 3 as 4, just go 1 further. Thumb off that coin when you're done. So count 1, 2, 3, 4 coins, right? 3 coins that I count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could be 8 coins if you want. It doesn't matter. With the drop, you can count 3 coins as any amount of coins, period. You just do the drop that many times. And again, so you remember your angles. You can have 3 coins and they can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coins. And you can do this surrounded. And it really provides the opportunity for a lot of magic that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do with other false counts. Because with other false counts, the false moment is usually quite awkward and stands out. And you cover that by the uniformity of all the other actions and the speed, right? So you use 1, 2, and then there's a false moment, but you're moving quickly, you're going on. But you don't want to repeat that false moment. Most of the times, that wouldn't fly. But because of how casual and natural the drop is, you can repeat the false moment and it feels just as natural and normal as when you're really counting the coins. So you can go as far ahead as you want. And this allows for you to do some really, I think, stunning magic. And so I actually
Jeremiah, just to interrupt there for completeness sake, because I want to understand that false count as well as I possibly can. When you are doing, when you're doing the stealing the coins back, that's pretty easy to grasp, understanding when that happens. When you're doing it to make more coins, first one is a real one. Yes?
Yes.
And then from that point on, you can false as many times and cycle those two.
Yes.
That you have left. Yep. Got it.
Yeah. And that's why I say with 3, because you want a coin apparently in the hand for their
noise.
For the noise in their brain. So like, oh, noise is happening. Oh, and it's also worth explaining what the receiving hand does. All I'm doing is, you've got it in a fist, and I'm kind of opening to like a tight C, and I'm just touching the thumb and index. I'm just repeating this whenever I'm doing it falsely. I'm just doing that, over and over and over. So that's the receiving hand's action. And any other questions or?
No. I think that clarifies everything. I just wanted to make sure that I understood it really well, and I hopefully everybody else will also understand that based on that.
Yeah, and that's the reason I say with 3 or more. 3 or more. With 3 or more, you can count them as any number because you need at least 2 to be repeating to get the clink over and over, and you need at least 1 to go over to apparently be the one receiving the clink.
Yep.
Right? So like if you're doing 2, you have to do different things like where you do the 2-ahead click pass. But with 3 or more, you can count them as any number you want just by doing the drop as many times as necessary. So if you have 3 coins, you want them to be 5, you just do the drop twice before you finally thumb off the 2 last coins, and so on and so forth. And so I want to show. Actually, I'll perform something real quick. It's probably my favorite thing to do with this technique. In fact, if there is one thing that I do for a lay audience, it will be this. Even over a card trick now, which is rare for me. Now I've actually got to a point where I'll sometimes do this instead of a card trick. If I'm only going to show a lay audience one thing, I'll show them this. It's a 4-coin trick. It's the best 4-coin trick that I know. It uses 4 coins. I call it the best 4-coin trick because it is the best, and because it uses 1, 2, 3, and I'm sorry. I thought I had 3. Well, that's fine. That's okay. I thought I had 4, but I'll do a 3-coin trick. It's fine. I know a great 3-coin trick. It's a really fantastic trick. It uses I thought I had 3. Well, that's okay. I do know a 2-coin trick. I'll show you. It's a pretty good trick. I'll show you my 2-coin. Okay, I'll do a 1-coin trick. In fact, there is only one 1-coin trick. It's the one where it disappears. That's it. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I forgot. I brought an extra. I always keep an extra just in case. Actually, I keep a couple extras over there. That's 2. And if I remember, oh yes, I did. I have a 3rd one in this ear. Ooh, and a 4th one in this ear. That's 4. Oh, I also had a 5th one over here. Well, I have a pocket over here where I keep a 6th, a 7th, and an 8th coin. Ooh, actually, I forgot. I brought lots of coins. Here's 9, 10, 11. That's probably enough. You want to see the 11-coin trick?
Yeah, it's too many coins.
It's the one where they all disappear. And so I like that trick, and it also serves as a good lesson for other things because it makes good use of the drop false count, and a lot of magic, and it avoids a lot of the standard stuff with coin magic, like grabbing and things like that. And so it's a good lesson because when I started in coin magic, and everyone's doing like the stand-up stuff with usually with 3 coins. I think it's just a good number when you're doing stand-up coin magic, 3 fly, that kind of stuff. Making coins appear and disappear. Everyone has like their own vanish sequence, and I came up with my own vanish sequence as I was trying to learn coin magic. It was just something I put together with what I had available, stuff from like Gary Kurtz and Curtis Cam. I did this. I would say like, I'll take this coin and hang it invisibly in the air, leaving me with just 2 coins. We'll take the second one and we'll hang it in the air, leaving me with 1 coin. We'll take this one, hang it in the air, then they're all gone. And then you can reproduce them or whatever. Right? So I did that vanish sequence, and let me explain that real quick. You have 3 coins, and you're holding them at a fan at the fingertips. Important that the 2 fingers are on the bottom coin so that the top coin is just held by the thumb, so it can slide up and down really easily. And you're just doing that classic 3-fly move. I think first published by Gary Kurtz, where you slide the coin beneath the top coin beneath the other two, hiding them in the fan. And I just do this as I pretend to take the coin. I cover the coin, I pretend to take it, but what I'm really doing is sliding it behind the two, and hang it in the air, do whatever. And then I would do this changeover. It's a Gary Kirsch changeover where I come over and apparently take one coin at each fingertip, but what I'm actually doing is I'm finger palming this bottom coin. I come over and I finger palm the bottom coin and then take one coin at each fingertip. So it's got two, and it's just kind of a way it shows both hands clean. And then I'm going to do this one more changeover. This is literally the hardest stuff that I do, period. The most work I'm willing to put into coin magic is this kind of gallow changeover where I'm going to exchange this bottom coin for the one in finger palm. I'm showing this and apparently just passing from hand to hand, but actually I'm exchanging the bottom coin. So I'm drawing this one, same action as like a retention pass. I'm drawing this back with the middle finger, the bottom coin, as I add this one on. So in action it looks like this. I show two coins, I show two over here, but what I'm doing is exchanging that bottom coin. And then I just draw this one into like an edge grip or a downs palm. And then you take the second coin, do standard kind of coin magic stuff where I do a retention pass, adding it onto that edge grip coin, downs palm, make it vanish, and then I'll do the Lotta French pop where the coin is held in the French drop position and you're just making like a C motion and using the inertia to kick that into finger palm. And so that's what I did for a long time, was this kind of coin vanish sequence. And my 4-coin trick, which, I didn't really like it. It was fine. It just, I wanted to learn coin magic, and that's kind of what everyone was doing, but it wasn't my thing. But now this 4-coin trick that I do, I love. It's my thing. I found something that's my thing, and it's basically the same trick. We embellish a little with the drop, but it's basically the same trick. And so it's a good example of how you could take one trick, change no mechanics, nothing but timing and presentation, you get a totally different trick. Because now what I do is I come out with the 3 coins and I say, I've got 4. I'm going to do a 4-coin trick for you. And sometimes I'll do the drop false count. I'll count to 3 as 4. Often I won't even do that. I'll just come out with the 3 coins. So I'm going to show you a 4-coin trick. It's great. It's awesome. It's fantastic. It uses 1, 2, 3, and then I only count 3. And it's like, oh, hey. And at this point, they don't know if anything's vanishing. You're like, maybe you just forgot the coin. And it's like, oh, I don't know. I guess this is all I got, so I'll just do something with 3 coins. And as you're saying this, as you're kind of reacting to the fact that like, oh, okay, I don't have a 4th coin, you have one of 2 things. I'm just going to do that same hiding the coin behind the other 2, but I do it in one of 2 moments. I either have them at the fingertips like this, and I kind of shrug, and it's like, oh, okay, it's gone. I guess I only have 3. I'll do a 3-coin trick. So I'm not calling attention to the fact that the coin has vanished. I'm not noticing that the coin has vanished. At this point, I'm still looking for the 4th coin. It's like, okay, I'm just going to do something with 3. Alternatively, if I have them in my hand, sometimes I just pick them up, and as I'm picking them up, I just go straight into hiding that one behind the other 2. So it's like, I guess I only have 3 coins. Okay, I'm going to do the 3-coin trick. And then I look down and I notice, oh, hey, I only have 2 coins. So again, you're doing the same mechanics, but I'm just not making the coin vanish. Now the coin is vanishing on me. Now the magic is happening to me. And so I look and it's like, okay, I could have sworn a second ago I had 3. And so now instead of this kind of being like a hand-washy, like, look, I only have 2, now it's me examining my own hands. It's like, what? I thought I had, so the attitude behind it is, I could have sworn I had 3. Okay, fine. I only have 2. And so at this point, you're going to do that same retention pass, but you're just going to do it in the open without a covering hand. I'm just going to draw this coin into edge grip, and I'm going to do that as I bring the 2 hands together. And I often like to twirl this one because it creates kind of just this nice visual noise that helps cover. And then I add this to the hand. So I'm just doing the retention pass right out in the open, but I'm doing it under the action of, okay, I guess I only have 2, shrug, bring the hands together, and then now the vanish happens when I'm not noticing. When the spectator is not noticing. You look the coin, you look up, you shrug, okay, I guess I'm going to do a trick with 2 coins. That's fine, I'll just do a 2-coin trick. And then you look down and notice again, oh, I only got 1 coin left. All right, fine. And now you could do this last one as, again, without noticing. So just as kind of displaying the coin, like, okay, look, I'll do it with just 1. And then, oh, it vanished. I usually, at this point, I go, okay, I'll do the only 1-coin trick there is. It's where the coin vanishes. And so you've taken this where, it's kind of standard. I'm making coins vanish. Look, I've only got 2. Now I've only got 1. Now I've got none. You take that kind of standard sequence, and now it's, well, hey, I thought I had 4. I guess I'll do it with 3. Oh, no, I only have 2. That's fine. I'll do it with 2. Oh, no, I only have 1. Okay, the 1 coin vanishes. Same mechanics, totally different trick. So now, how do we finish? Because that's what I had a struggle with before, too. Okay, I made 3 coins vanish. The thing you can kind of do when you make coins vanish is you make them reappear. Why do you make them reappear? Not usually because it's the best magically. Not usually because it's the most impactful. Not usually because it makes the most sense narratively. Usually you make the coins reappear because they're still in palm, and that's awkward, and it's easier to end with them reappearing rather than ending with them vanish, because they're all hidden in different palm positions when you've made 3 coins vanish. So people reproduce them. But how to finish from here? So here's what I do. So I have 2 coins in edge grip, and I have vanished this coin, and I say, okay, that's the only coin trick there is. You make it vanish. And then I say, okay, I have extras. And I produce this coin from anywhere. I like producing it, kind of standard, whatever, like as if, I just had a pocket underneath my elbow where I keep the coin. And so I'm displaying this coin, and I'm going to do a classic kind of changeover with the coin in display for the 2 that are in edge grip, where I come over, I take the visible coin into finger palm, and I take the 2 in edge grip at the fingertips, holding the 2 kind of as 1. You don't really have to worry about this because you're not going to be holding them there for long. You just take this one in finger palm, take those 2 as 1, and then I immediately just go back to the elbow, shielding it, and just spread them. So now it's like, I found a second coin there. So I've reproduced 2. And then I put them in position for the drop, and you can actually do the drop with just 2 coins. I put them in position for a drop, execute the drop, and then go immediately back there and produce, or from wherever else. Sometimes I produce from my ear a 3rd coin, and then from this ear a 4th coin. And this is nice because it brings it full circle. Because remember, often I will just do an implied vanish of the first coin. I'll come out and say I have 4 coins and just have 3. So in that first moment, they don't know whether or not that first coin vanished or I only have 3. But at this point in the routine, by me producing 4 coins, that makes their mind go, okay, we started with 4, they vanished, 4 reappear at the beginning. That's how the retelling will go. So I get kind of like credit for that freebie vanish where I did nothing. I just started with 3 coins. So I've produced 4, and you could just end there. You could say, okay, I've produced 4 and then make them all vanish, but same problem. I still have these 3 in finger palm. So why not go further, get a little more mileage, and end clean? And the way I do that is with these 3 coins in finger palm, they think 4 is here. I go, you know what? I have another extra. And I'll produce another coin. And this entire time, you're just doing the drop false count. You just keep producing the same coin and executing the drop technique. So like with the drop, you can basically do a miser's dream, and then everything vanishes at the end. So that's all I do. I just kind of a miser's dream sequence. I like producing it from the mouth. I like saying, I got a pocket under my elbow. Sometimes I'll produce more than 1. I'll kind of jingle and say like, look, there were 2 over there. And then at some point after that, I'll go to my pocket. And now this isn't even magical. It's just like, I bought a bunch of extras. What am I thinking? I just go to my pocket and come right back out with the coins and produce, 1 or 2. So whatever the count is at that point, I'll say like, 8, 9 coins. And I'll go back, maybe go one more time, and 10 coins. And then I go one more time as if to get more coins, but I just leave everything behind. And I go, that's probably enough. Right? That's probably enough. We'll do a 10 coin trick. You want to see the 10 coin trick? It's a lot like the 1 coin trick. It's where they all vanish. So that's the 4 coin trick. My absolute favorite thing to do for lay people.
Yeah, it's super good. It's reminiscent to me of doing the repeating sponge ball. Mm-hmm. It's got that same kind of feel for people, because that's the way that I like to end my routine with those, is with so many being produced, and then all of a sudden they're all gone. But I also just wanted to go back to earlier, where you sort of just came to the conclusion yourself as you were teaching it here that it might be a great idea for somebody to learn it initially with 2 coins. I know that's the way I'm going to go for it, so that I'm always ready to do that, multiple production repeating sequence, and get comfortable with the noise, the sound illusion, before I can back it off if I need to.
Yeah, I really think that's the way to go. I mean, that. Yep. And that's the selling point. It's the sound. It's the ability to produce coins infinitely in such a casual, fooling way. That is the selling point. So now let me teach a few of the other things that I did, because I actually want you guys, to, and if I forget anything, you can just say, hey, idiot, get back to the tricks, and I'll do that. So let me teach the coin box thing that I did. This is a relatively new piece for me. I don't really do a lot of Okita box magic. I don't really do a lot of coin magic, period. But I did start doing this. I like this. It apparently uses the Okita box, the Chinese coin, and the 2 silver coins, and then a ribbon, optionally. But it actually uses 6 coins. You use an extra 2 silver and an extra Chinese coin. And your extras are going to be stacked in such a way that the Chinese coin is accessible to you, and you put that wherever. In this case, I just had it in my lap. You have it in your pocket. Usually I keep it in my pocket. And so you introduce the plot and the premise, and you don't have to use the involved pattern that I do, but whatever you want to do, it's very visually succinct. It is conceptually easy to grasp. Like, okay, look, I've got the Chinese coins. They go in between. It goes in between the silver coins. It's locked in the prison. No way for the Chinese coin to escape. And so what you're doing, after you've introduced the props, and you say, okay, the Chinese coin is going to go in between the silver coin, you're going to drop these all in position to do the drop as you kind of gesture and say, the silver coins act like guards. They're going to be like guards. And now you're going to be showing visually what you mean. The silver coins go on either side of the Chinese coin. So you thumb off one silver coin legitimately. Then you thumb off the Chinese coin, but instead of actually dropping it, you're going to do the drop. So now you still have the Chinese coin and silver coin in this hand. And then you're going to pull back you're going to scrunch your fingers in, pull back with the thumb so that you can kick out just the last silver coin. And you're keeping this obscured. So apparently you've just counted them off one at a time, and they've seen all 3 go into this hand, but you've actually stolen out the Chinese coin. And so this is done as you say, look, the silver coins go on either side of the Chinese coin acting as guards. And you dump that whole clip of 2 silver coins, apparently the silver coins with the Chinese coin, in the box, pick up the lid with the hand that actually has the Chinese coin in finger palm, taking use of the classic wand subtlety, put that on top of the box, and you can produce this Chinese coin any way you like. I personally like putting the box on top. I get this moment where my hands are kind of clean, and then doing almost a non-magic. This almost looks like it could just be skill-based, where I'm tossing the box aside and I'm just pinching to pull out, kind of like, when you do the deck of cards and you pull the top and bottom card off. So I'm just doing this, and usually the lid kind of fumbles a little bit, so it kind of looks like, man, maybe he really actually slipped that coin out from between the 2. So I like to do that for the first one. The Chinese coin comes out, and then it's important, always hold the box in the right hand, lift with the left hand because you want uniformity of action for later. Lift the top up with the left hand and dump the silver coins underneath the lid, kind of as you say, like, oh, it escaped from the prison, escaped from between the 2 silver guards. And at this point, you now need to steal your extras. And so you do this while they react. If you're in a situation where it's back to like, hey, people can touch your stuff again and you could touch them, I let them examine the props. That's how I originally did this. Say, hey, you can look at this. I mean, it really is, everything's normal. And while they're examining, that's when I steal the extras, or just in the reaction where I set it down, I kind of relax and I steal and say, yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, but actually all of the coins can do this, but I'll do it again if you like that. And so you take the 2 silver coins, and now so you got these in finger palm with the Chinese coin accessible on the top of the stack. Pick up this one, put it between the fan, and so now you're legitimately going to put this entire fan into the box, and I like to leave it sticking out this time, and I pick up the lid again, and I show really cleanly, and I kind of scoop up the coins as I put them inside, and as I'm closing, I like to produce the Chinese coin. So I do that as I'm closing, and they kind of look over, and it's like, oh, shock, it's already out. They're like, no, that's not possible. And so you come over here, and again, this is why you were doing the action before. You lift up the box on top of the right hand so that the left hand can lift up because you got these coins in finger palm. And you're going to apparently dump the 2 silver coins out of the box, but really your thumb goes on top and keeps that entire stack in. Because remember, that's the stack of the silver coins with the Chinese coin in between. And you keep that in between as you just drop the coins from finger palm. And so apparently it's like, oh, look, it did really get out from in between those 2 silver coins. So at this point, you've got in the box still the Chinese coin in between the 2 silver coins, and that opening is facing you. So you just dumped them out and like, wow, that's really amazing. So you know what? I'm going to try the ultimate version of this. It's the reverse escape. And so again, you're just holding this here, holding the entire stack inside with your thumb. And you pick up the 2 silver coins, and again, let them coalesce into position to do the drop. And you can actually do the drop while you're holding this box in essentially finger palm position, opening kind of tilted towards you. It just comes up, and you can do the drop right into the Yokido box, apparently. So you do that, it apparently drops into the Yokido box, and then you can immediately show and say, just the silver coins go in. And then close the top and say, just the silver coins go in. So now I'm going to use just the Chinese coin, and then I like to do the ribbon. So I have a ribbon somewhere, and then I'll go ditch these 2 silver coins. I'll say, oh, you know what? Let me get this, and then I'll go ditch the silver coins as I bring out the ribbon. I said, don't make it extra hard because this is a really high quality escaping coin. And so you're just doing the standard kind of coin or ring off ribbon where you thread it through and you let the ends fall and hang. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, but you're just dropping that coin out as this hand comes over to wrap the ribbon around. So you slide the coin right off the ribbon, steal it, make an X, wrap it, so it looks like it's really wrapped up tight. And if I'm sitting at this point, I'll just lap this coin, get rid of it, not have to think about it. If I'm not, depending on the situation, I'll ditch it in my pocket. If I've got the misdirection, I know I've got their focus here, I'll get rid of it. Or it's fine, I'll just leave it in my hand, palmed, show that the coin has vanished, and say, ooh, I felt it go, show it's off the ribbon, and then as I bunch up the ribbon, you can just get rid of the coin with the ribbon as you put it away, then turn all the attention to the box. Is it possible? Can it be? And the way you reveal this is kind of important because you really want to highlight that the Chinese coin is in between the silver coin. So you take off the box lid, you flip the box over, and then flip it back over. So now you've got that nice stack where you can push not too hard and show that it is actually in between the 2 silver coins. And so that's what I call the Uncle Timothy's escaping Chinese coin.
Nice work. Yeah, I like it. I didn't know about. I was trying to figure out that moment in the routine because I didn't know about the extra 2 silvers. That's very smart.
Yeah, quite often, anytime you're using anything extra, right? You have natural psychological distress. Oh, I've got an extra coin they don't know about. And then the more extras you have, the more distress usually. Oh, I have 5 extra things I don't want them to know about. But the way this is structured and the way the effect handles, it is not, it's not too bad psychologically on you, the magician. These 3 extras, just because of the way the routine is structured, you don't worry about them. They fit in quite calmly. Mm-hmm. Things are where they need to be. You're never really in a position, except right at that one moment where you have everything kind of out. These go into the box right away. These come out. So you're not ever feeling like you're having to hide too much. So I really do like the piece, and I hope maybe you guys get some enjoyment out of it. Oh, so that reminds me. So I did a coins across, and I want to explain that because that is another example of how you can use the drop false count. Because again, as I mentioned before, you can use the drop false count to get really farther ahead than you might be comfortable doing with another false count, where it's theoretically possible, but it's going to draw too much attention to the false part. It's going to look too suspicious. And so I'll do a coins across, and often I'll do this with only 3 coins. I did it with 4 in the presentation. Often I'll do it with only 3. If I've got 4 out and working with 4, I'll do it with 4. But if I've got 3, I'll do it with 3. I'll say, okay, I'm going to do a classic effect of magic, and then you can do the presentation like I did, or just a normal presentation. And so what I'll do is I'll say, hey, it's the trick where the coin goes across. And so I'm just kind of explaining that, and I'm miming. I toss the coin across, and this gives me a reason to then drop it casually back in the other hand, and of course I'm just doing the drop. And then I pick up these 2 and I say, well, now I'm going to do it for real, and I let them fall into finger palm position and then just apparently thumb them into the hand, but I just do the drop twice. So I'm all 3 ahead. I start all 3 ahead in my coins across. So in this case, you don't have to do false counts back and forth. You don't have to do hang-ping chins or shuttle passes. You just start with all 3 coins in the final hand. Skip all that other stuff. So again, if you're doing a 3, you say, I call this my no-touch coins across. Look, you say, oh, look, the coin goes across. That's the idea, at least. All 3 coins start in this hand and watch. And then all I'm doing here is thumbing 1 off, and then, hey, the first one came. Like, boom, the first one comes across. Then I'll pick that up, and I will let it clink against the 2 in finger palm and go, oh, that's the second one. And again, just thumb 2 off. Pick up those 2, and I'll often do this kind of display from Gary Kurtz where I open my hand and their coins have coalesced in finger palm, and I thumb just 1 coin forward. So I let them see only 2 coins at this point. So it's a nice moment where I say, okay, 2 have gone across, 1 left to go, and then, ooh, look, that's the last one. So you get this really, really clean coins across where you get all the work done right at the beginning, and then the rest is just presentation. And again, for most other techniques, you wouldn't be comfortable. You wouldn't be comfortable like, okay, let's do 3 retention passes in a row, and then trying to do the coins across, because it's not gonna. Just for you, the magician, it's not going to feel like you could get away with it. But to get 3 ahead with the drop is not so bad. You feel like, yeah, it's that's 1. Ooh, that's 2. 2 coins have gone across. 2 that have gone across. Ooh, that's all 3 have gone across. So there's really, really clean coins across. So I call the no-touch coins across. Now I did it with 4 in the performance, and I often will do it with 4 if I'm working with 4 for some other reason. Then I want to do coins across. But I'm not comfortable getting full 4 ahead. Mostly, not because I'm not comfortable doing the drop 4 times, I'm not comfortable finger palming that many coins. So what I do is I do what I call one-touch coins across. So I'll start with the 4 coins, and I'll do the drop false count to get 1 ahead. So I'll start with 4 and say, this is a trick with 4 coins. This is a trick with 4 coins. The 4 coins start in this hand. And then, so I've just done the drop false count where I've got 4. I do 1 coin for real, then I do the drop, then I thumb 2 coins for real. And so I've retained 1, but apparently counted 4. And then I like to do this display where I'll let the coins flop onto my palm. This is not intuitive. This doesn't feel good for you. It feels like you're going to drop the coins, so you usually wouldn't hold them here. Usually you want to be here. But because you have a coin and finger palm here, I like to get like kind of a congruent display, and to be like this and like this looks bad, right? It's like, oh, that's really suspicious. But if your hands are kind of both kind of in this kind of cup position, then it looks fine. But you want them to be able to see the coins, so you have to flip them over on your palm, which doesn't feel natural or intuitive, but it looks, it's a much better look. Like it's just, and you're not like saying, look, I've got nothing. It's just a casual, coins are going to travel across. And so you turn your hands over, do whatever you want, and you drop, show that the first coin has traveled across. Now this is important. After you've shown that the first coin has traveled across, the way you display these 3 coins is you kind of toss them. And you get like it doesn't have to be a line, but you want them moving more towards the center of the mat. And there's a reason for this. So you show it and you say, look, there's only 3 over here. So as long as they're moving more towards the center of the mat, that's fine. You just don't want them over here, right? So you want them more towards the center of the mat. You say, look, we only have 3. And the reason for this is because now I'm going to get 3 ahead. I'm going to get all 3 of these ahead. And if these coins are over here, you can't do this. You can't go, okay, now let me put these into my hand. That's not okay, right? That's not going to fly. But if they go here, you can say, now, what happened is, so depending on your presentation, when I'm doing the presentation like, oh, I hate the coins across, I'll say, obviously, just tossing a coin across doesn't do anything. Grab the coin most to your right. So now you're moving your line further this way, because now I'm taking the coin that's most to the right, and I toss it across. As I say, that's fine. That doesn't bother you. Or you say, or dropping the coin. That doesn't do anything, and you just apparently drop it back into this hand, but of course you're doing the drop. And if you're not doing that presentation, what I do at this point is I say, okay, the coin has gone across. That's it. So watch again. See if you catch it. See if you catch the moment and I'll either do a toss or like a muscle pass and say, see if you catch the moment where it goes across. And then I just come back and do the drop, apparently dropping it back in the hand. And so now look, as I'm kind of displaying, like, see if you catch it. Now my hand's out here, and this hand is right here, really close to these coins. So now it's natural to pick up these 2. Now I'm not reaching across anything. Now the entire thing is structured to make this moment of having to recount natural. So I've done this. That's the first one that's gone across. Watch again. Maybe you'll see it happen. I don't know. Maybe not. And now it's natural to pick up these 2 with this hand. So you pick up these 2 with this hand. You let them coalesce into that finger palm position. And again, you just do the drop 2 times in a row. And so now you've got all 3 retained over here. Nothing over here. 1 has apparently gone across. And again, the rest is just showmanship at this point. You drop 1, let it clink, thumb 2 off, pick up those 2, do it again, thumb 3 off. Now at this point, I will do another display after I've sent 3 across, because you got the 1 left. And so I'll pick up these 3, and it's really nice because when you have a coin in finger palm and you pick up a stack like this, this is a really natural position to go right into an undercover spread display. And I wouldn't do this if it wasn't easy. So don't look at this and go, oh man, normally you're in an awkward position. You have to work to get into an undercover spread display. And if I had to work to get into that display, I wouldn't do it, because I'd rather just breeze past it and just go, okay, fine, they're here. because it's not worth it to me if I have to do a suspicious move, because I don't have enough cover in the structure of this routine. But because I just pick these up and I can go immediately into it, I do it. So what you're doing there is you've got this coin in finger palm, you pick up these three, your index and middle finger kind of go underneath the stack, and this is in a really natural position then for you to peel back with the thumb and extend those fingers that were underneath, like kind of uncurl them, and these three will just naturally fall into a spread on top of that coin that's already there. So there's no fidgeting to do it. It's just boom, you're instantly in the display. And like I said, that's the only reason I do it, because it's so easy to do from that position. So I'll do it. I'll get into this display where I have it really clean. They see 3 coins here, and I say, okay, I'm going to do the last one. Here we go. And I like to show this hand empty and then count 1, 2. They just saw 3, now there's 4. And so you got coins across where, without all the repeated counting, without heng ping chen, and just get really far ahead right off the beginning. Get them all in that hand. Why not?
Yeah, I really love it, and I like the 3 coin version for just simplicity's sake. But this 4 coin version has the nice convincing moment, up front to kind of establish what's going to happen, and the clarity of 1's here and there are still 3 here. It's got that one moment where you prove the thing that they should already know. I'm curious though. Have you worked at all with the 1 coin behind premise? Since the drop can show 3 coins as 4, have you worked at all with using that? I know Sankey's got some work on it, and other people like that, where you are apparently using 4 coins to go across, but you actually only ever have 3. So you're really showing the coin is gone first, and then you do something. But it may not be your style, but I was just curious if you've ever thought about that one.
It's funny you ask. I do, actually. I have some material with 1 behind. I hadn't planned to show anything, but I can do just like a quick demo.
Okay.
As you said, you can do 1 behind stuff. And especially when you're doing 2 is 3, it's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder because it's much easier to get 2 ahead with the drop, right? Mm-hmm. It's easier to get 2 ahead with the drop rather than 1 ahead, because I need to have a coin here to create the clink, right? I need to have a coin here to create the clink. If I really drop this coin in this hand, even if I do the drop, there's nothing to make the clink. So what you have to do a only 1 ahead click pass is a much harder technique. And I discussed this in my book, and wasn't going to do it here, but I'll do it here for you guys. It's just a little bit harder. And what you do is you have to lever this up. As you come up to do the drop, you have to lever this up with your thumb, or index finger is more comfortable for some people, but you lever it up so that as this coin goes on its way down, it clinks against that coin. It's a little bit harder. It's a little bit less intuitive, but so you can get 1 ahead with the drop. So if I have 2, I can count 1, I could do the clink, and I can count 3. So now I've counted 2 is 3. So I will use the 2 is 3 to do some 1 behind stuff. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's this one thing I used to do which I called minimalistic trio, because like the kind of standard stand-up coin stuff is we produce 3 coins, we make them go across, we vanish the 3 coins. That's kind of like the Gary Kurtz trio structure. And I was like, okay, what's the most minimalistic way we could do that? We'll do it with only 2 coins, and we'll skip all this stuff. And I'm trying to make sure I remember the handling, because I haven't done this in quite a long time. But so I'll do it with just 2 coins, where I'll go, oh, okay, look what I got right here. That's coin number 1. That is a silver coin. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, that is coin number 2. That is a second silver coin. What's this? Ooh, that is a third silver coin. 3 silver coins. And how did I do this? Yeah, 3 silver coins, and we will want to see the trick where they go across. And it happens like that. When you just do it all at once. And then we'll take one of these coins, we'll hang it back in the air, leaving me with just 2. We'll take another one, hang it back in the air, leaving me with just 1. The last one I'll keep for myself. I don't think you're allowed to do that. I probably should hang that back where it belongs, but actually, I don't think anyone will mind. So I used to do stuff like that, where you're actually, you're working with 1 behind, right? It's not my favorite stuff to do, but you can do it, and so I have done it. But it definitely is possible with the drop. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Sure. No, and thanks for doing that. I know I put you on the spot, but it's nice to see some of that thinking as well. Yeah, and like I said, I've talked about some of that stuff
in my book. Like I said, my personal favorite is easy, right? Literally the reason I don't do that stuff as much is just because it's a little bit harder and I'm really lazy. And that's it. Like, that's really the reason. Was there anything else? Am I forgetting that I should explain before? I do want to do that coins in the purse where I did the transposition. I'll explain that. But were there any other questions you had on like some of the drops?
Yeah, I do actually have a couple of questions. Question number one is, are you left-handed?
That is actually a really good question. So I do 90% of my magic right-handed, but I'm cross-dominant, so I don't have a dominant hand like with writing and stuff. And so occasionally I do stuff left-handed, but I'm not aware of it. So I'm not 100% sure. I've taught this to a number of people, and a lot of them do mimic me and choose to do the dropping hand with the left.
Yeah.
But a lot of them find it's more comfortable to drop with the right. And actually, obviously, the ideal is if you learn with both, which I've been working on, and now I can do it from the right hand. Mm-hmm. But for me, naturally, it's the left. But I'm not 100% sure if that would be natural for a righty.
Yeah, because my initial inclination is to learn to do it with my right hand first. But I honestly think it might be better to learn it as you have, left-handed first.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the other question is really more about, I'd like full explanations on everything, like the 6 coin trick, just so we go beat by beat through everything that you've done. And if we start with maybe the 6 coin trick that uses 3 coins, that would be awesome. And then we get to see the wild bears and rhubarb farm and all that stuff as well.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Actually, currently the 6 coin trick is my favorite thing to do. The reason why I opened with it is because I love this trick. It's the type of stuff that I like performing in terms of presentation. For me, it's deeply satisfying to do a routine where I keep people's attention, and like half the time I'm doing nothing. I'm just pretending to hold.
Yeah, I love that.
That's just like a joke that like that's personally for me like deeply satisfying and entertaining. So yeah, I'll explain the 6 coin trick. It's a little bit conceptually, it's a little bit less than ideal in the sense of like, oh, I like the 4 coin trick where all the coins vanish at the end. That feels great. And to have produced lots of coins and you end with 3 in your hand, that's weird. But it works with the presentation, right? It works with the presentation. So this all came about with me thinking about, oh yeah, I could produce as many coins as I want. I thought it was kind of funny, produce coins that I didn't really produce. Like if you're doing the trick, you're like, oh, I produced 1, I produced 2, I produced 3, I produced 4, I produced 5. Just kidding, that 5th one wasn't real. And like, see, so that was the initial idea. And so the routine uses just 3 coins, and they can all start in the left-hand finger palm. The true starting position is 2 in left-hand finger palm, 1 in right-hand finger palm. But I find it's pretty easy to steal these out of the pocket and then just slide this one over to the correct hand just in the course of, relaxing and chit-chatting. So you start with 2 and 1 in the left hand, 1 in the other, and you're going to produce, I like to produce the first 2 at the same time. I'm always trying to find ways to vary the idea of just producing a coin. Because, like people do stuff like this, they produce at the elbow, or you just reach out into the air. Reaching out into the air is my least favorite thing. I know it works because I've seen other guys do it. I've seen guys like Curtis and Kainoa, and I've done it and seen audiences react and enjoy it. And it's like, wow, that coin just appeared. But still, I can't get over psychologically in my head, if I just reach out into the air and produce a coin, it doesn't matter how good I am, the coin was just in my hand. I don't know. So for whatever reason, I like to add a little more shade and do something to produce it, from an ear or something. And my idea for this was to produce 2 at the same time. I feel like it's a nice visual, just like, oh, it pops into view. And so 2 in one hand, 1 in the other, and I say like, oh, I've got a coin on each elbow. And this is funny because I've just introduced the fact that I'm doing 6 coins, 3 of them exist, 3 of them don't. I have 2 on each elbow. And so they look, and it's like, okay, was that 2 of them? Like they're thinking, I don't see anything. And I said, you don't, that's because those 2 are the ones that exist. So I just cross my hands and I just thumb a coin to the fingertips of each hand and come forward and say, those 2 actually exist. And so now here you're going to do a contextually dependent one-ahead click pass, which is because I have a coin secretly in finger palm here, if I do the drop into my right hand, I'm going to get the clink. And so it's great. So it looks like I drop both coins into this hand. So I just produce them, display them, do the drop. So apparently both coins are in the right hand. Really, there's only one coin, and I still have two in this hand. And remember, with two, I can produce as many as I want. So I actually have a third coin in this ear, do the drop, a fourth coin in this ear, do the drop, fifth coin in my mouth, and once you're at 5, you need to really drop this now. Fifth coin in my mouth. Sometimes I forget, actually. I was like, oh, I'm so used to doing the drop. Once you get to 5, you got to really drop. Fifth coin in my mouth, sixth coin in my beard. And again, you can produce them forever you want. I like doing different things. And so I've produced 6 coins, and it's very cleanly, very clean. It looks very like, oh, there's 2, there's a third one, there's a fourth one, there's a fifth one, and there's a sixth one, and it looks like I produced 6, but I only have 3. So it's really startling when you say, but those last 3 don't exist, just the first 3. So you show 3, and then you mime, right? It's all just mime. It's all just play. And I used to just go and go and go, but I really lean into it now. I take time. I was like, look, this one's silver. This one's worn. You can feel it. So late 1800s, it's a dollar coin. Then I come over here and I pick up nothing. And I'm like, look, this one, same thing. It's worn. You can feel it. You can see it. So I just play that up, showing this coin. So it's the exact same as this coin, except this one exists. This one doesn't. Then I pick up these 3 coins just to kind of get them out of the way for this whole mime sequence and say, but you know what's interesting about these 3 is they kind of exist. And this is just, interesting to me as a linguist talking about mental objects and things like that. So we're talking about this one, these kind of exist, right? We're talking about them. We're thinking about them. Look, I'll manipulate them. Pick up one, make it disappear, do whatever. So again, this doesn't work. The real work on making invisible coins disappear, just for you guys here at the Penguin. Make it disappear. And the key behind all of this, the thing that makes this presentation work is the joke, is the mental distinction between coins that exist and coins that don't even not exist. So you make the coin disappear and you say, look, it's gone, it doesn't exist. Well, it never did, but now it doesn't even not exist. And you just can do that 2 more times. Look, I'll make this one disappear, so now it doesn't even not exist. I have 3 coins that exist. I have 1 coin that doesn't exist. And here's actually a touch if you care to perform this. So I'm not sure how many people will try to take this presentation, but if you care to perform this, there is kind of an important thing psychologically. These coins are in my hand. The coins that don't exist are on the table. And the coins that don't even not exist are kind of in a vague place above my shoulder. It's like every time I'm referring to them, I'm pointing, right? So I have 3 coins that exist. I have 2 coins that don't exist. And I have 1 coin that doesn't even not exist, right? And so then when I make this one disappear, it's like I have 3 coins that exist. I have 1 coin that doesn't exist. And I have 2 coins that don't even not exist. So this is kind of like the conceptual space of where the coins that don't even not exist are. So I make them all disappear and say, now I have 3 coins that exist. I don't have any coins that don't exist. And I have 3 coins that don't even not exist. So now you're actually going to do, after you've done all that, you're actually just going to do a vanish. And again, it starts out kind of like the same vanish sequence from the 4-coin trick that I used to do, where I have 3 coins fanned at the fingertips. I'm going to draw that one back as I pretend to take it. And I've also found, I'm trying to remember who's the first person to show me this, but I like tilting it back, and then peeling back. As doing it like this, coming in front and tilting back. I like doing that. Whatever, you pretend to take it and say, I'll take this one, squeeze it, look, it disappears. And then, and I think I forgot to do this before, after I made it disappear, I set it down. Because remember, this is the zone for the coins that don't exist. So I set it down, and then I do that changeover where I finger palm the bottom coin and then take 1 coin at each fingertips as I say, look. So now I have 2 coins that exist, I have 1 coin that doesn't exist, and I have 3 coins that don't even not exist. And so now you're going to do that 1 ahead click pass again, because we're back in that position where I have 1 coin secretly in finger palm, as I'm going to apparently drop both coins into the right hand, which is just drawing this coin into finger palm position in the right hand and then doing the drop. So now I've apparently dropped both here. So and as I'm doing this, I say, look, you can see these coins clearly exist. You can see them. You can touch them. And I tap them together when I say touch. And it's important that you don't say here, because here's the next line. So as you can see them, you can touch them, and then you say here when you do the drop. Say, you can hear them. And then say, but if I snap my fingers, I make 1 of them disappear. So you open your hand. Now there's only 1. That's a surprising moment. Toss that over here. So now I've got 2 in finger palm, just displaying this one. So now I only have 1 coin that exists. And here is actually a problem. So you have 2 coins in finger palm here, and you have 1 coin left. And I'm going to do that French pop. But I don't really, you can just do it in the right hand, but I'm not super comfortable with it. It doesn't look as good in my opinion. I'm just better at it in this hand. So I wanted to do it in this hand, but I've got 2 coins in finger palm. So I'm going to do a changeover. This is not technically 100% necessary if you're, totally ambidextrous, but I'm not. So I do a changeover where I've got one coin displayed, and what I'm going to do is apparently transfer that coin from hand to hand. But I'm transferring the whole stack. So I've got that stack in finger palm. I'm apparently transferring this coin from hand to hand, but I'm transferring the whole stack. And so what you do is, because there are options for this, and there's like push-through changeovers and things like that, but they're all very fidgety and they require pausing. They look beautiful, but they're just too much of this for me, and I just can't do all that stuff. So all I'm doing is I'm drawing this coin back on top of the stack. I'm drawing the coin on top of the stack, and then I'm just dumping the whole stack right into finger palm position in this hand, and then thumbing the top coin up. So I've got one coin displayed here. I draw it into the stack. I dump the whole stack right into finger palm position in the right hand, and thumb the top coin of the stack up. So technically, this is not the same coin that was just shown a second ago. So instead of doing like anything like this, we have to like do unmotivated grabbing. You're covering this in apparently putting the coin from hand to hand. So it flows, it feels very nice, and tiny little bit of noise, but if the coins are soft and you got ambient noise, it's fine. So I do that transfer. As I've said, now I got 2 coins that don't exist, or 1 coin that does exist, 2 coins that don't, 3 coins that don't even not exist. Now I do that French pop. And I do French pop, and here's an important thing. So I do that French pop, and when I started out, was super nervous doing this. Every time I do the French pop, I want to produce this right away. Because I'm afraid. I'm afraid, oh man, they're going to know the coin is hidden in my hand. They're going to think this is dumb. That's the way I always feel. So anytime I did this, I would always like reproduce it right away. It would almost be like this. Like the coin goes, and now it's back. Like I was just too afraid to pause in that moment. And, I think combination of guys like David Williamson and David Roth talking about just being in a natural position and then actually performing. Because man, that French pop, I've performed this a lot of times, and usually I'm rushing to reproduce it, and people are reacting. Like I'm interrupting their reaction because they like it. It was startling. It vanished. And so I've learned, like, okay, don't rush the reproduction. And so this routine, the structure, forces me not to rush it. I make the coin disappear, and then I just come down and I go, it looks like I have no coins. And I'm just content to hold I'm not trying to have a palm position or anything. I'm just content, like the Roth thing, just to leave my hands closed and say, it looks like I have no coins, but you know that I have 6 coins, 3 that don't exist and 3 that don't even not exist. And then I say, and you can explain this craziness to others. And so now I just repeat the production sequence. Tiny difference is that this hand now has 2 coins and this has 1, where I started like this. So you're going to have to do one little adjustment, which is I produced the first 2, same as before, but now I'm just going to do a changeover palm, where I drop the 2 into this hand and then use friction just to slide 1 into this hand. So I'm producing 2 and going, okay, these are the 2 coins. So that kind of standard changeover. I've dropped them both into the left hand, then using just friction allows the bottom coin of that stack to remain in finger palm as I drop the top coin into this hand. So that apparently dumps the 2 coins from one hand to the other. Really, you've retained 1 in finger palm. And so that allows you to spread these coins, and then you're back in position to do that 1 ahead click pass, which is just drawing this coin into right hand finger palm, executing the drop with the left hand. So now I've got the 2 coins. Say, oh yeah, there's a 3rd one behind my ear, 4th one behind this ear, 5th one in my mouth. Now here's the thing. The first time, when I got to 5, I really dropped the 5th and the 6th coin. Now, instead of doing that, I just repeat the drop. I've got the 5th coin, I've got the 6th coin. Because I like to go at least 1 further. So I've now apparently reproduced the 6 coins, and I say, hey, if you wanted to, you could talk about a 7th, 8th, and 9th. And as I'm saying that, I produce. Like I said, you could talk about a 7th, 8th, a 9th coin. And so you're just repeating the drop each time. Often I will end there. So if I'm ending there, those last 2 you drop for real, right? Whenever you're choosing to end, the last 2 you drop for real, the 7th, 8th, 9th. If I'm not ending there, then I just keep doing the drop. So I say the 7th, 8th, 9th, those are the counterfactual coins, the coins that would have existed should I have chosen to start with them. And then I say, oh, hey, maybe you just want to embellish the story and lie and tell them and then I don't even have a production. So I just go to my pocket and pretend like I had, 3 extra coins in my pocket and pull out these 2. And you want to tell them that I had a 10th, 11th, and 12th. And remember, it's the end, so I really dropped the last 2. I said 10th, 11th, and 12th. So that's fine, I don't care. We know the truth, though. We know it's only 6 coins. 3 that exist, and you reveal the 3, and then mime 3 that don't. So that's the 6-coin trick.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you. And so then, my 1-coin trick. See, I don't have any creative titles. It's like, how many trick coins do I use in the presentation? 6? It's the 6-coin trick. How many coins? It's the 4-coin trick. Now let me show you the 1-coin trick. Usually I don't do this standalone, and I didn't even in the performance. I usually use this as an opener of a longer kind of formal coin set, but it's a fun bit of coin magic where I've apparently using 1 coin, but others keep appearing. And so this was, again, me trying to play with what do I do with the production of coins? Because I personally, as not a coin magician, am not satisfied. I don't like plucking them out of the air. Plucking them off various parts of my body is not even 100% ideal for me. It's just kind of, I think, the best that I've got. But I thought, hey, what about accidentally producing the coins? Like getting caught. Right? And so that's the kind of the genesis of this. And so for this, I like to have a purse. And let's start with 2 in the purse and 4 coins total. If you're going to do a 4-coin trick after. If you're going to do a 3-coin trick, you don't really need this 4th one. For the actual sequence, you don't need 4. But if you're going to go into a 4-coin trick, start with 4, 2 in the purse or 1. It doesn't matter. 2 in the purse and 2 in right-hand finger palm. And so this can be wherever. It can be in your pocket. So you just reach into your pocket, grab those into finger palm, pull out the purse. So I'm going to show you something. This is pure coin magic, right? Let's cut the silliness. Let's cut all the fancy add-ons. Let's just do some pure slidini coin magic. Just 1 coin with unaided sleight of hand. And so you open the purse and you reach, these coins are in finger palm, and you reach in and you take out one of the coins, and there might only be one, so you take out the coin. So I'm going to do something with only 1 coin. You're emphasizing that. You're emphasizing like, you're going to get to see some pure sleight of hand that you can do with only 1 coin. And so now I'm going to do a sequence, and this sequence is kind of like from the Lotta 3-coin trick, where he has the sequence where the coins, like, the 1 coin kind of jumps across. Eric Jones has a really beautiful version of that. And so it's just kind of this idea where I'm taking that 1 coin and I'm holding it in left hand French drop position. And all I'm going to do is the French drop, but I'm not going to cover it. Instead, at the same time that I do the French drop, I'm going to produce the top coin of the right hand's finger palm stack just by thumbing it up to the fingertip at the same time. And I like to go back at the elbow. And so that's both clearly in frame in their view. So if they're seeing this coin, they're also seeing this hand. And so that makes their brain go, oh, hey, the coin just jumped over across. So I do that, I drop, and that goes across. And then I like to cross hands. I like to continue. So I go beneath that elbow. And when I do that, all I do is draw that coin back into finger palm and produce this one at this elbow. So then I come up and it's like, oh, hey, it's gone across again. And so now my hands are crossed at this point. And I pause for a moment to say, okay, the coin's over there. And then I'm going to cross my hands. And as I do, same thing. Draw that back into finger palm, push this one up. And say, oh, it's gone across again. And then I'll do one more where I'll draw this down as I start to look at it, and then this one appears. And I go, oh, I missed it. It's over here. And so there's this moment where, and maybe other magicians won't like this, but I do. So you've done this magic, which really feels like you can't do it with 1 coin, and you can't. It really feels like you can't, and you can't. And so I'm going to reveal that. But I do this in a comical way, as I say, okay, use only 1 coin, and I'm going to do the drop, because I've got 2 coins of finger palm here, and I only want 2, so I'm going to do the drop, apparently transfer this hand, that uses only 1 coin, and you can do like a Ramsey display here, so really only 1, and what you're going to do here is shove both coins to the fingertips. Now this is hard, but it doesn't matter, because you don't care, you just want to drop the coin anyway. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to shove both coins to their fingertips, not caring what happens to one of them, and allowing it to fall. So this is done, as you say, it uses only 1 coin. And then they see the other coin tumble out, and it's like, I'm sorry, that's embarrassing. No, that's it's an extra, but I mean, it's just like it's the coin's understudy. Like what if I drop this down a drain, or what if someone walked off with it, and then I wouldn't be able to show you this awesome trick. So I always keep an extra because that's what pros do. We keep extras. And then as I'm talking, and I kind of do it. So remember, I got a coin in finger palm in the left hand. I just drop it as I kind of gesture, right? So that's what I do. I say, but I don't use this as part of the trick, and that's the line I do when I drop it. And so then like they see it because it's I want it to be kind of like a really obvious drop, and so you're doing it right in the center of the table, kind of hands up. You don't want your hand down because then, oh, maybe they miss it. You don't want, it's not a secret placement. I don't want it to appear secretly like, oh, I didn't see it. I like them seeing, like it just kind of fall out of, they didn't see exactly where, but hey, the coin just popped out. Well, you're telling me you only use one. And I've already seen the second one. It's like, I promise, I only use one. This one's just a backup coin. And then you're like, I'm sorry. That one is, it's a family heirloom. I keep it just purely for sentimental reasons. Whatever. Make up whatever you want. The better, the more elaborate the explanation, the better. And while you're giving that explanation, you take these two coins and you set them in drop position, because there are occasionally times, and you've seen me now do this a couple times, where I want to do the drop with two coins. You can't do that setup with one hand. It's really hard to get into position with two coins. So you actually have to place them there, which is incredibly hard to motivate. Why would you place the coins there and then drop them back in the hand? So if you want to do something like that, that has to be covered in the presentation. And so this is being covered by like, I produced that's my grandma's coin. I keep it just for, to remember her. That's why. And so you put them in, and that's what covers the placement of these coins. So then I do the drop, because I want to be far ahead again. So now I have two coins here, and I have no coins here, and they think two are here, and I pick it up, and I say, so I promise, I don't use this one as part of the trick. And you do the drop again. So now you have three coins in your left hand, none over here, and they think three are over here. And so then I'll say, but I really it only uses one, and then while I'm saying that, I thumb that top point of the finger palm out as I'm just saying, I promise I won't, and then I go, oh, that last one, I don't have an excuse for that one. And then I do the drop. So now I've apparently produced 4 coins, and I go, okay, maybe this does use 4. And I do this kind of display where I pinch and pull back with the thumb to lever up the coins perpendicular to the hand and spread the 4 fingers. So that allows you to hold the hand up and say, oh, look, I used only 4. And you can kind of immediately go into Ramsey, so it kind of shows your hand empty. But I'm not emphasizing that. Just go, okay, I use maybe 4. Then I open my hand and say, no, I'm kidding. Why would I use 4? That doesn't make any sense. I don't use 4. Then you open the purse and say, I promise you, it's just 1. And at this point, you're just going to produce the top coin of the stack. And so here's another thing, and I'll say this. I used to feel like I had to produce the first coin magically. So I've just made them all vanish, and I've got 3 coins in finger palm. So my magician brain says, you have to produce that somehow. And as I've already mentioned, I hate producing coins. I don't have enough solutions. I'm running out of ways, ear, mouth, elbow. So I want to have as little producing as possible. So I used to just kind of like reach out into the air and say, I promise it's only 1. And I would produce this coin. Because my magician brain said, if you have coins in finger palm, you have to produce them. But then I realized something. I said, why? I've just made all the coins vanish, and it makes perfect sense to have to pull one out. In fact, if I really made them all vanish, what do you have to do now? I have to go get more. And that's actually, psychologically, it sells the vanish, right? Instead of me vanishing coins and then immediately going into producing them, which just says you are hiding the coins, if I vanish the coins and then I have to go get more, that just sells the vanish. And so now that's what I do now. When I've vanished all 4, and I have these 3 in finger palm, I go, I have to get another one. As I reach in, and I just thumb one up and pretend to pull it out and say, I'll do a 1 coin trick, I promise, a 1 coin trick. So I drop that coin into the right hand, hold it at the fingertips. I'm going to do this kind of production, I think it's a Curtis Cam thing where I'm rotating the hands around, kind of like a cheerleader. And as you're doing that, the left hand comes behind, thumbs out one to finger palm, or to fingertips as you're spinning. And so you say, if at any point it looks like I'm using 2, and so like apparently like maybe it's an optical illusion, it's just an illusion, pay no attention. And so then I just do the drop. And so again, we're just doing the sequence that I've already done in many contexts where now I have 2 coins here. I have 1 here, as apparently they think it's 2. I say, if you pay no attention, it's just an illusion. Now I'll just produce them. I say, I don't have a 3rd coin. I don't have a 4th coin. I don't have a 5th coin. I don't have a pocket under my elbow where I keep a 6th, 7th, and 8th coin. So I just keep doing this as many times as I want. And then I do the drop every time. I don't ever finally drop these coins off. And then I'll open and say, I promise, it's just 1. And so you get that nice reveal where you say, I don't have a 3rd coin, I don't have a 4th coin, I don't have a 5th, a 6th, or a 7th coin, I promise, just 1, and it's a nice moment. And so usually, so that's the 1 coin thing, and that's kind of where it stops, and then what I do later depends. In case of the performance, I said I don't have a 1 coin trick, and I went into the purse. Again, I have 2 in finger palm. I could produce these, but I don't want to. I'm just going to pull them out of the purse as if I had to get them. That helps sell the fact that I really only had one coin, because when I wanted more, I had to go to the purse to get them. So sometimes sacrificing some magic can actually make other magic stronger, I think. So in the case of the performance, I went into my hanging coins, which is really just a hanging coins presentation, because you can use any handling of hanging coins to do that and use that presentation. Curtis Cam has talked about, and others have talked about magic where the point is not necessarily to fool them, where you're trying to get some other reaction. And I like absurdist humor, and so I wrote this hanging coins presentation as kind of the intended goal is kind of a question mark in their head. They're supposed to be like, why did I just watch this? But if you're going to do that, the magic needs to still be good, right? If you're going to do that, it can't be dumb magic. It still has to be fooling. And hanging coins is pretty beautiful and fooling. You know, the coins vanish and it looks pretty clean. And so I'm just doing, as I said, any hanging coins handling will work. I'll show you the one I'm using. I can't call it mine. I'm just doing retention passes into edge grip. So you've got the 4 coins, and you do standard thing where you're holding them at the fan in the left hand. Take the bottom coin, and instead of directly placing it into edge grip and doing the false placement like Roth does, or Gary Kurtz even has a nice where you come up still leaving it as a fan, and he levers it into edge grip, and then you do a false placement. I like just doing a retention pass to edge grip, which I learned in Kanoa Harbottle's book. So you take the coin in the right hand, and as you come over, holding it between the thumb and index finger, the middle finger draws it back along the thumb, as far back as you can go, and then you can re-grip by pinching it briefly with the index finger and middle finger, and then the thumb can come around and hold that coin against the middle finger. So now it's an edge grip. And so you do that as you're closing your left fingers around the coin, ostensibly around the coin. You levered it back, and then you take these 3 and you have that edge grip display where really cleanly only see those 3 coins, and then you make the coin vanish. And this is this presentation is a good exercise in not feeling like you have to show the coin vanish right away, which again is very psychologically difficult for me. It's very difficult for me to stand there with my hand closed and talk because I'm afraid. I'm afraid like, oh no, are they going to forget the coin is there on? Are they not going to believe it? But, I found that it makes it stronger. Like that, I'm sitting there talking, they believe I've got the coin there, and then I finally reveal that it vanishes. And so just go slow, right? And when doing the retention pass, I usually like to go fast because I'm afraid. But I found that this retention pass looks better when you go slow. So I go slow, make it vanish, and I just repeat that 2 more times, right? So I do it again, repeat the retention pass, the coin vanishes, repeat the retention pass, and again you're transferring the visible coin to the middle finger and thumb is this classic edge grip display as you show the coins vanish. And so the last coin, a lot of different ways to do this, the catching to bring them all back. I like to have a pause in my production, and so the way I handle this is I take this kind of position, which is a very kind of natural, casual position. If you have never assumed this position, this might be suspicious. But given my presentation, and when I do this, I usually lean forward. I like to put my elbows on the table. I'm talking, hopefully assuming this position at other points of just naturally talking with the audience. It's a very natural way to rest your hands. And so I do that. I say, all the bear ate all his friends, and so now all his farm hands. So now he had no friends, or no farm hands, and still no friends. And I just kind of relax to this position. And as I bring my hand up, as my hands kind of come back up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this coin into an edge grip underneath the others as if I was doing the retention pass, but I'm not. I'm just levering it up so that it's now one stack that I'm working with, and I just plop that stack right into the left hand. And so that's done as I'm like here. So I'm just, as I'm bringing that coin up, I'm drawing it as if doing the retention pass, but that's all I'm doing is doing that so I can have a square stack, so I can just plop the whole stack in the fist, and that's done as the hands separate. So I'm in this kind of position as the hands separate, I make a stack and I just plop it in there. And so apparently you place the 1 coin, you place Ted, you relax and you say, but then Ted, he had a lot of time to think. So it's just placing that 1 coin in the hand, patter, 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 and then finally reveal that, oh no, Ted still has 3 friends. He's fine. His real name's Bill. He's an accountant in Cleveland. That's Ted and Morto.
Yeah, I love this absurdist presentation, but I also love the fact that it gives those coins that vanish, instead of hanging them in the air and all that kind of stuff, it gives a reason for that changeover, because I've never really liked the fact that you take a coin, put a coin back in, then move the coins over. But because it's a farmhand traveling into the woods and the woods are over here, it sells it for me.
Exactly. What you say is normally a dumb thing to do. I mean, the guys who can do it well. You cover it with things, but if you can motivate it, and here, as you said, the motivation is the weird idea that I never establish, right? Like, I establish, but I don't establish by being overt. I never say this is the woods. Mm-hmm. I just establish it in the course of presenting. One other thing, which I think is important, but I'm not 100% sure. The coin that's Ted is always Ted. So when I say Ted and his 3 farmhands, I always make sure Ted's never vanishing. And so then it's like Ted was left with 2. So Ted is always Ted. And that just kind of helps create that continuity of the absurd story that I'm telling. And that's just that, and also I think it's important that it is a rhubarb farm, because I don't think any other vegetable would work as well. I agree. And I've tried. It doesn't work. So is that any other questions, or does that all make sense?
Yeah, it all makes sense to me. It's so, you're so good at teaching this, and your enthusiasm for it has just gotten me so excited that I just want to get some coins in my hands. If I had known, I would have brought coins, and I would have been making a bunch of noise over here, which I can't do anyway. So is there more that you wanted to go into?
Yeah, I wanted to explain. I did it in the performance. It's slightly unrelated because it doesn't actually use the drop. Oh, surprise! I'm actually doing something that doesn't use the drop. But I just want to make sure I covered all the drop stuff. So you guys, I don't want to cheat you of anything. I'm an open book. I don't care. But I did want to explain the transposition that I did with the Chinese
coins,
coins,
of course,
and the silver coins, just so you guys had that, because it uses a move that I discovered on my own, but a number of others have discovered it, and it's not as popular as I think it should be. I call this the fan realignment move. So let me just perform it again. So like if you've got a fan of silver coins and you wave them and one changes into a Chinese coin. So it's really nice because, it's a change of coins with apparently no finger movement or no action, no like grabbing or anything like that. And I like that kind of stuff. It happens in the open. It happens right in front of them. I'm never covering the coins, and just a wave, one changes. Now this occurred to me because I was practicing Guy Hollingworth's
I was just about to mention that.
Exactly.
It so feels like that. It's reminiscent of that.
The optical alignment.
Yep.
I literally was doing that with cards, and I thought, I bet I could do this with coins. I bet I could do this where I realign the fan so that I get a change. And so that was literally my thought process. And then I was talking to, and this was like 12 years ago maybe. I was talking to Eric Jones on the phone, and I told him this idea, and he told me that he had the exact same idea for the exact same reason. He's like, I was playing with his optical alignment. I thought you could do it with coins too. And then it turns out that other people had this idea. There's a magician, Justin Haynes. He did it with 2 coins, but actually he got it from Nate Kranzo. It's Nate Kranzo's original idea, which is funny because so I published this in my book, and I wasn't sure of like whose idea it was first. And Nate Kranzo was one of the first people who read my book, and he never mentioned that's mine. I think he just had so much good stuff he forgot. So I want to show this because as far as I know, I was the first person to publish and work out a way to do it with 3 coins because the finger position is actually important. So to do this, you're going to be holding a fan of 3 silver coins, and the way you hold the fan is not intuitive, because if you just pick up 3 silver coins and you hold the fan, you're not going to be holding it right. What you want to do is have 1 finger per coin. So ring finger on the bottom coin, middle finger on the middle coin, index finger on the top coin. And that's not an intuitive way to grab the coins, but and it's not hard, it's just not what you would naturally do if you picked up the fan. But so you need to be doing that because this allows you to stabilize the fan and release just the bottom coin by letting go with the pinky. Because if you're holding it like normally and you try to release just the bottom coin, it's hard. Like you have to adjust and just to get that bottom one to slide out. But if you're holding it with one finger on each coin, then releasing just with the pinky, that bottom coin is going to go. Because what you're going to do is you're going to release that bottom coin into finger palm on kind of like an upswing. At the same time, you're going to be pushing out a Chinese coin that's hidden. So when you're doing this, you've got the fan held in the requisite position. You also need a Chinese coin hiding behind the fan in that kind of Mickey Mouse position, that kind of classic, as if you had just done the three fly, as if you had just hidden it behind. So it's there being pinched against the fan with a thumb. And so it's really easy to just slide that out. And so the technique is on the upswing, you finger palm the bottom coin by just gently releasing. And on the downswing, you push up the Chinese coin. And so the fan is technically shifting up a little, but it's not noticeable, right? It just looks like that top coin changes into a Chinese coin without you doing any finger movement. And so this affords the opportunity to do some pretty changes that look apparently hands-off as far as it goes. And so I'll show you that. Oh, I should mention, so as far as I know, I was the first to publish this in a kind of a very limitedly released set of lecture notes that I released in Chicago. And then I did put this in my coin book, The Institutes. But there was a Japanese magician, and I wish I could remember his name. He put out a DVD where he had discovered the same thing. And he was doing it, and I was watching. It's like, he's even better than me, so you should watch him. But so I'll explain the entire sequence, because the most obvious way to use this change in my mind is to do the fingertip wild coin. I love the wild coin. I love the fingertip wild coin. I never liked any of the handlings, but the basic handling that I use, and here, let me grab one more of these. The basic handling that I use, if you're doing it just like this, is, oh look, 1 changes, that's 1. 2 changes, that's 2, and then the last one you do whatever. That last one changes. So the silver coins change in Chinese coins. A lot of different uses for this. I did it in context of a transposition, so that's how I'll teach it, but you don't necessarily have to. One note, I'm using a shell on the Chinese coin. This is 100% not necessary. I'm not using it for any shell reasons. I'm using it because I used to have these Chinese coins that were really, really thin, and I loved them. Like 3 of them together was like the stack of was like the thickness of like 1.5 silver dollars. So it was really easy to finger palm them. These Chinese coins are really thick. And for me, I just don't like, I'm lazy. I just don't like finger palming 3 of these. So I have a shell over one of them. So now I have 3 coins and they just take up less space in my hand. But I'm not using the shell for any of the shell stuff. So I'll explain the handling. Really, the shell just makes this harder. It doesn't make it easier because now I have to unnest it. But in general, it just saves space in my fingers. And I'm so lazy that if I can save space, I'll do it. So I'm using a shell and 2 Chinese coins, and then the 3 silver coins. But again, you could do this with 3. And when I had different Chinese coins, I wouldn't use the shell. So I come out with the Chinese coins starting the purse because usually I'm already working with silver coins, and so I'll have these. And just make sure the shell's on the bottom, and you can display the Chinese coins, let them see that the purse is empty. So then I pick up the Chinese coins so that the shell is on the face of the fan so that it will, when it nests, it'll cover. And I'm going to do this false placement into the purse where I'm holding the purse in kind of like a gambler's cop position in the left hand, and I'm showing it empty, and I kind of mind like, oh, I was going to put them in, but I say, wait, make sure nothing else in there. And then as I come back, I'm holding the fan just between the index finger and thumb, and I'm going to stick that fan just directly behind the purse, directly into finger palm, and stick these 3 fingers into the purse. So the idea is the coins have gone in the purse, and those fingers kind of aid in that illusion, while these 2, the finger and thumb, just deliver it right to finger palm. The shell nests, so now the shell is closest to the finger palm, and I've got the other 2 there. And so that's just the way I do that. Pretend to put them inside the purse, close the purse, set the purse down there, and now I come over here. So now time to do the change. Here's what I used to do, and it's not so good. You can pick up these silver coins, hold them in a fan, and then you could come over and adjust to load that first Chinese coin behind the fan in position to do the thing. So you have to load it, and then you have to readjust your fingers. And you can do that, and I used to do that. And the way I would do it is, I just say, okay, now I'm going to do a trick with 3 silver coins, and you're just kind of like, I don't know, ostensibly adjusting the fan. But it's like a really awkward thing to do, and it's like, why? Like, okay, even if they don't see me loading anything, why is he doing this? So here's what I do now, and it's a lot better, which is I say, okay, the trick happens with the 1, 2, 3 silver coins. And so I load the coin in the process of picking up the silver coins. So here's what I'm doing. 3 silver coins, and I'm just kind of displaying them, and I pick up 2 and put them together, and I'm also putting my fingers in the right position. One index finger on this coin, middle finger on the bottom coin, and I'm adding the Chinese coin so I add the Chinese coin and then immediately go to pick up the 3rd coin. So the Chinese coin is added in the act of putting those 2 coins up. And so what this does is it changes the moment. So here, the fan has already been made. Why do I need to adjust it? There is no reason. Here, the fan hasn't been made yet. So there's reasons for my fingers to be doing things. The reason for them to be traveling back and forth. And the process of picking up the coins creates just enough kind of like visual noise, not to the point of it being distracting, but just enough visual noise to hide that add-on. So it's just a lot cleaner, better way to do that. So now you're in position. You have the 3-coin fan, 1 finger on each coin, Chinese coin behind, and so you're going to do the change. And I like to do it over the purse. I come over, you could tap, do whatever, wave. So bottom coin gets finger palm, Chinese coin comes out. And so, oh, that's the first coin has transposed. So what you could do at this point, or what you have to do, is you have to switch this Chinese coin for the one that has the shell in your hand. And so you come over, and this hand is going to pull that coin right back into hidden position, right back ready to do it again, do the change again, while this hand produces this coin. So that's the standard way to do that. It's just this hand kind of blocks, and it produces this coin, so you apparently have taken it. Once again, you can do this better than that. A much better way than just this, which is kind of the standard way, is to do this. So you see the difference? This is kind of the standard way to do it. This is the way you should do it.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. So here's what's happening. What you're doing is you're actually coming over and shoving that coin behind you're pinching it, and it's coming behind the coin that is at the top of the fan, and then you push it to the fingertips at the same time that you pull this coin down. So it comes up, and you do this. Whereas the normal way is just to bring this hand fully in front and kind of block and come apart. Here, you actually bring it behind. Slide that coin down and slide that one up. And you don't have to do this fast. The other thing is people usually do this fast. You don't have to do this fast. This can be done very slowly. In fact, it looks better when you do it very slowly. You take your time. It really looks like that. This is not 100% necessary, but if you have a touch and it's not hard, and this isn't, why not do it? Why not do the better way? So you're going to do this, produce this coin. So this is the coin with the shell. And so now I need to unnest the shell.
And Jeremiah, if you don't mind me just interjecting there, like you said, that shell isn't entirely necessary, but this does give this a nice moment where there's nothing else in your left hand besides a single coin, because otherwise you'd have an extra coin in finger palm as well. Yeah.
Exactly right. Yep. Yes, that is exactly right, because there would be another coin here. But yeah, so you do get this moment where you show this one's very cleanly. And so here you're ready to do the change again. You're just doing the same thing, only with 2 coins now. And so now you're just released with the middle finger as you go up, and then push out with the thumb. So same thing as before, it's just now the middle finger that's releasing its coin, and as you come down, the Chinese coin is being produced. So again, you get that nice little change, and that was the way Nate Kranzo originally did it. He did it with 2 coins. And you get a nice change there. And while that's happening, you need to unnest this. You could do it the way I usually do, which is kind of like the normal. I get into that French drop position and let the coin fall out. Or you can just have it lying against your finger and just lift up the shell and push it to. But it doesn't matter because the focus is all here. Here the change is happening, and you just, you unnest that so you're ready to go for the final change, which is here. And I'm not 100% happy with the final change, but whatever. It's what I got. Put the Chinese coin behind, the shell behind, so you reform that fan, and then you take that silver coin over here. So now in the left hand you have the silver coin and the Chinese coin in finger palm. And I hold the silver coin in the French drop position, and I tap it with the Chinese coin. So I would tap it with the Chinese coin, and I tap the purse, tap, tap, and I do this kind of back and forth motion a couple times just to cover the actual action, which is when I come over one time, I pinch this down. I pinch this down and then feed it directly into finger palm, and then as I come away, my thumb just levers this coin up. So this coin is considerably further back than the silver coin was, but I immediately kind of go into a tossing motion to hide that discrepancy. So you've got the silver coin here, the Chinese coin in finger palm, I tap with the fan, I tap over here, I feed it directly into finger palm, and I come away and say, okay, look, we've got the 3. So I immediately set those on the table. You've got all 3 in right-hand finger palm. And pick up the purse, and you can do this kind of false dump where you open the purse and holding it in the kind of like the edge grip display, you turn over, and you're just going to let the coins fall out of finger palm and apparently coming out of the purse. And so that's the transposition with the what I call the fan realignment move. Like I said, other people have discovered this as well, but I think more people should be doing it because it looks really great.
Yeah, it does. Real nice.
Another thing you could do with it, which I will sometimes do, oftentimes I'll just do that transposition. But if you're going to have a shell and stuff, there is another thing you can do where the shell is necessary, which I kind of call a heaven-bound, spellbound, kind of playing off of the kind of Chris Kenner and Cornell Harbottle routines where, so you don't know about this stuff, we'll say, oh, let's do a coin trick. And we say, let's produce a silver coin. Ooh, look at that. That's 1 coin. Now, if I was doing this for, say, for some of my relatives, I might use a more culturally appropriate coin. I'd use like this Chinese coin. But it's not a 1 coin trick. It's actually a 2 coin trick. Ooh, let's reach out and produce. Ooh, there's a second coin. That's 2 Chinese coins. Although I don't think anyone here speaks Chinese, so let's actually do it with the two American coins. That makes more sense. We'll do it with 2 American coins, although it's not actually a 2-coin trick. It's actually a 3-coin trick. There we go. That's 1, 2, 3 silver coins. Now again, if it was for my relatives, I would have used that more culturally appropriate Chinese coin. I would have used 1, 2. Yeah, in the wrong position. I'll use 1, 2, 3 Chinese coins. Right from the beginning. So you could do something like this where you're producing 3 coins, apparently, but at each stage, they see it as the opposite. So you see it change from silver to Chinese, produce another coin, from Chinese to silver. So at each stage, you see 2 silver, then 2 Chinese, and 3 and 3. And so I'm just doing that same kind of fan change, but I'm doing it with in the course of a production sequence. And so for this, you do need shells. This is the most involved thing that I do in terms of gaffs. You need a shell for each set. You need the Chinese shell and 2 Chinese coins and a silver shell and 2 silver coins. And because I haven't done this in a while, I actually put it in the wrong position. The Chinese coin and shell goes on the bottom of both hands. So the shell is on the bottom with the mouth facing up of both hands. And then the regular coin is on top. And obviously 1 coin nested in the shell. The silver coin in the left hand, Chinese coins in the right hand. What you're going to do is produce, however you want, that first silver coin. And then I do a change that's kind of reminiscent of Curtis Cam's twist change, but I do it like an even lazier version, where I just straight block the coin from view, and I slide this coin back into finger palm as this coin is produced, and this hand, the right hand is turning towards me. So it looks like this. I actually like the way that the blocking causes the change to look. So I do that intentionally. So I do the blocking for the twist, and that's the first coin. I say, oh, whatever reason, it changes Chinese. But it's not actually a 1-coin trick. Now I reach out and produce from the right hand that other Chinese coin, which is the shell with the Chinese coin. I say, that's 2. And then the Chinese coin with the shell needs to go behind. I did this wrong. It needs to go behind the other coin, and I'm going to do a 2 for 2 change where I'm just opening this hand, and I'm going to do a Downs palm retention pass where I square these coins against the palm, clip them between the index finger and middle finger, and draw them back into either edge grip or Downs palm as this hand closes and delivers those 2 silver coins to the fingertips to open and show. This was Gary Kurt's thing. He used to do this with 3 coins. So the Chinese coins change into 2 silver. It's like the most difficult thing I do with coins, and I display them using this kind of edge grip display. And then I have to adjust, so I take these Chinese coins, I lower them into finger palm as I'm just kind of displaying these. And I take that shelled coin, draw that shelled coin into finger palm so that I can grip the shell and dump the coin out of the shell. And so that's 2, and then I reach out and just produce that shell, and that's 3. So then the shell comes, you've got a fan, and now you're going to readjust the fan, and to do this I move the bottom coin, or the top coin to the bottom, which is the shell, you move that to the bottom, and in the process you also load the Chinese coin behind. So the shell's on top, Chinese coins are in your finger palm, and you're going to readjust the fan. Shell goes to the bottom, and the Chinese coin gets loaded behind. So now you're ready to do the change. And this time I do the kind of fan realignment under cover of, I put the coins all into the hand, and I just let it all coalesce. So what's going to happen is that shell is going to nest over the other silver coin. So now when you open, one of them will be Chinese. And so I just do that, kind of a lazy way to do that. Pick them up, display, and so now you're in the exact same position as we were before, and so you can finish it out by loading this Chinese coin back behind the 2 silver, doing the fan realignment move while you unnest this one, put that here, and then you can finish the same way as before. And you've now had produced 3 coins one at a time while they change back and forth. It's like the most difficult thing I do. So if you are feeling so adventurous, go for it.
Yeah, no, it's wild. It's some great stuff. It's good to see some of Gary Kurtz's work in there too. You know, I always loved watching him perform. Yes, yeah. One of my first Magic purchases period was Gary Kurtz's old VHS tapes, the A1 VHS tapes. So I thought I would do one last thing. Is that all right with you, Dan?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'll
do one last thing. Yeah. Would you like to see? Would you like to see my cow?
Okay.
All right. This is my cow. Well, it was a cow. I killed the cow, butchered it, and then ate its meat. And then I kept a little bit of its skin, which I dried and I sewed into this little pouch that I keep my coins. This shames the cow and brings honor to my family. So I keep various coins inside the cow. I'll show you them. First, this is it's a $50. It's a silver coin. It's not really made of silver, but you know it's silverish. It is a lot like this copper coin that I'm about to show you. This is an Australian penny. It's got the I assume that's Prime Minister on one side, the kangaroo on the other. It's about the same size and shape as that $50, but a totally different coin. They're also very similar to this Chinese coin. This Chinese coin is kind of interesting. It's got a hole in the center. It's kind of unique. It's about the same size as that copper coin, about the same shape, except the copper coin's made of copper. The Chinese coin's made of brass. The copper coin doesn't have a hole in it. The Chinese coin does. You know, that's what I'm saying. And although I think probably my favorite is the silver coin. Now I know I just made it look like I could change coins back and forth, from like one coin to another. I can't really. You want to know the secret? The secret is the cow. Notice the cow sitting here with his mouth open like an idiot, just looking at me. That is on purpose. It's so you don't suspect him of anything. In fact, people rarely suspect the cow of malfeasance after you've shot him. But inside the cow, I actually keep the extra coins, right? So I actually have a silver, a copper, and a Chinese coin. I just keep the necessary coins inside the purse. They're inside the cow. And he's there with the mouth open, ready. And so I'll have like one coin, and what I'll do is I'll apparently change one coin into another, like the copper into the silver, but really I've just switched it for 2 of the coins inside the cow. And the secret behind that is I'm just that stinking good. I've mastered the art of switching coins from one hand to the other. So I wanted to show you something with these coins, and also I've got, normally I would let people examine them. You can examine them. These are totally normal. I also have over here some cards, because we're going to use some cards for this. Their identity is not important. So you would examine the coins. I'd also let you examine the cow. Don't worry, he's been dead for years, and then no one ever gets hurt by the cow. So I'd let people examine the cow. I'd let them see that the cow was empty. Then we would let them examine the cards. And so what I do is I explain that because we're using 3 different coins, it's important. It's important that we pay attention to their relative positions, right? Because it makes a difference whether the silver coin is here or, say, over here. Or whether the copper coin is here or over here. I mean, is this the Chinese coin or is this the Chinese coin? Is this the copper coin or is this the copper coin? I don't know. Those kind of details make a difference. Because in a moment, I'm going to cover the coins. I'm going to cover them with the cards, right? I'm going to cover each coin with one card so that, 1 coin per card. So now I can't touch them, right? I mean, I could reach under, I could take out the copper coin, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this magically. Look, if I take the copper coin invisibly and toss it over there, that looks like a bunch of silliness. But if I did what I said I would, you'd see nothing over here now. And over here, yes, that's the copper coin having joined the silver coin. Well, I bet I could do 2. Let me take 1, 2, drop them over here. And if I did what I said I would, yes, there's nothing over here. And over here, sure enough, let's see. Yes, that's the copper coin and the silver coin having joined the Chinese coin. I bet I can take 1, 2, 3 and... how about back in the cow? We'll do it back in the cow. 1, 2, 3, drop them back in the cow. And if I did what I said I would, we'd see nothing over here. And in fact, we have nothing, just the cards, nothing in my hands, nothing on the table. And here inside the cow, I can feel something. I know you can see something. That's all 3 coins back inside the cow. And all this is examinable. And that is a trick with a cow.
Oh, I love that. That's a great routine. And, I love to see something unique, somebody approach that set of coins in a different way, and you've gotten so much out of them. That's just so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, I won't explain everything because actually what I use is not currently available. My good friend John Journey, he made the coins that I use, and he makes some great stuff, but he's actually currently unavailable to do that for personal reasons. But I will show you like the bulk of the routine,
Sure,
which you can do with stuff that you can find. So what I'm using in this case for the progressive assembly and for the kind of transposition between the 3 coins is a Chinatown half and a copper silver coin. Now, if possible, it's great if these are magnetic. Mine are magnetic. You can do this without magnetic coins because I created this routine before I had magnetic coins. But if you can find ones that will be magnetic, that makes your life easier. But it's not 100% necessary. So I've got a copper silver and I've got a Chinatown half, and those are anywhere you can comfortably steal them. When they're magnetic, it's just one thing that you're stealing, so that's nice. So those are anywhere that you can comfortably steal them. And then I have 3 regular coins. Regular Chinese, a regular silver, regular copper, and 3 cards. And the cards I usually like to keep off wherever the coins are so that I can steal the coins when I get the cards. So I'll introduce my cow, my best friend, but, tax purposes I had to, off him. But got the cow, and you have the coins. And so you introduce them, and you explain that they can examine everything. Go ahead, examine the contents of the cow. And so normally back when you're allowed to touch things and touch people, I let them look at the coins. And this provides ample time to steal the other 2, the Chinatown half and the copper silver, as you either bring out the cards or just to stick your hands in your pocket and steal them while they're examining the coins. So after they've examined the coins, you can say, I don't know if you've seen coins like this before. That's a $50. That's a Chinese coin. It's just important that you pick up the copper coin last. So you pick up the copper coin last. So in your hand, your copper silver needs to be silver side up, and your Chinatown half needs to be Chinese side up, and the Chinese coin on top of the silver. And so in this case, you pick up the copper coin last, because now you're going to do a switch. So these are your regular coins, and normally I cover the switch with letting them examine the purse. I say, okay, and now examine the purse, make sure there's nothing inside. And while they're doing that, I thumb just the copper coin over on top of the gaffs now, and I lay them on the table. And so I've got the real silver and real Chinese coin in my hand, and I've switched it for the 2 gaff coins. And that is usually done under cover of, and also go ahead and examine the purse. And so while they're looking at the purse, I've done the switch. Now, they look at the purse, and I always hand the purse to them open. And there's a reason for this. I hand the purse to them open because 99% of the time, they are going to hand it back to me open. And I don't want to have to open the purse if they hand it back to me closed. So if I hand it to them closed, they'll open it and probably close it and hand it back. When I hand it to them like this, they usually just take it and kind of peek inside and then hand it right back to me. Because I need to load these 2 real coins inside the purse. And I want as little movement and extra movement as possible. So if I have this open and I take it back, I'm able to do this in the act of closing the purse. In the act of closing the purse, I load the 2 extras. And so the way I'm doing that is this purse is open as wide as it can be so that I'm actually able to pinch coins through the fabric, like I could hold it and pinch coins through the fabric. And so these 2 coins are in the finger palm, and what I'm going to do is as I come up, I lever them into that perpendicular position to the rest of the fingers as the right fingers come in front of the purse, ostensibly to close it, and I just jam those 2 coins directly into the purse, and they get pinched by this hand so that I'm not going to drop them, and then this hand does the rest of the closing action. So if they're burning it, it's still passable. But obviously, the ideal is they've examined the coins, they've examined the purse, and then as I take this back, I say, oh yeah, and examine the cards, and then I load it as I apparently close the purse and set that aside. And so now you're in this really, really far ahead position where they've examined everything, they've examined the purse is empty, they've examined the coins, they've examined the cards, but now the purse is not empty and you've rung in 2 gaffes. And so you're going to do this transposition sequence. I really like this because it feels like every coin is in every position. So the effect eliminates the method because it feels like each silver coin is here and the copper coin is here and the Chinese coin is here and the silver coin is here. That's not true, but that's what it feels like in performance. And there's no such thing as a 3-sided coin. So besides the fact that they've already examined the coins, the effect itself also helps eliminate the method. All you're doing is turning over the coins with the appropriate timing and choreography. So what you do, you come over, pick up the 2 gaffes, and then you close the middle hand, the right hand over the Chinese coin as you say, it makes a difference whether the silver coin is here, so you're showing silver coin, then you close the hand and on the fingers so that when you close it, if you open with the coin on your palm, you have flipped it over, standard copper, silver stuff. So say the silver coin, it makes a difference whether it's here, close, and then you open this hand and reveal the silver, because again, you've turned that over as you did the closing over here. So you pick up the 2, close this hand, and draw attention. Attention is always being drawn to the traveling coin. So you say, it makes a difference whether the silver coin is here or over here. I say, ooh, boom, the silver's there. Then I set that coin down silver side up, then I pick up the copper coin and say, it makes a difference whether the copper coin is here, and this coin's just a copper coin, so you close your hand, or over here, and you open your hand to show the copper coin now. And then you set that down, copper side up. The other nice fun thing about this is this coin is never anything but a copper coin. And that flies by everyone. It's never not the copper coin, but the presentation and then all the patter and the choreography makes it feel like the coins are just jumping everywhere. So you set the copper coin down, come back over here. You can't show this one, but you kind of say, is this the Chinese coin? And then you close this one, turn it over, say, or is this the Chinese coin? Come back over, is this the copper coin? Close, or is this the copper coin? You open, and so you got this really nice flurry of transpositions, doing nothing but turning coins over in your hands. So at this point, it's important because you need to readjust, and because for the trick that you're about to do, the Chinese coin needs to be over here. But if you just set the coins down like this, and then you say, all right, now let me set up, and then you do this, that's like, why are you doing that? Why are you moving that? I mean, theoretically, it shouldn't matter which coin is where, but it does. But if you're moving coins in front of them like that, they're going to wonder, why is he doing that? So the way you cover that is you've just finished the transposition, or the copper coin over here, and you set everything down in the middle of the mat by the Chinese coin. So now you just have a group of coins, and then you introduce the cards, put them in a line, and now you can move the coins where you want them, which is Chinese coin on your left, copper coin on your right. And so that just covers the readjustment that you need to be doing. And so now you do this really fun progressive assembly that's super, super easy because you're just taking advantage of the copper, silver, and the Chinatown half. So what I do here is I'm going to, and you can do any sort of like false load. I just like to push the copper coin underneath, and then I let my fingers overshoot it and draw the copper coin right back out. So I apparently push the copper coin underneath, but I've drawn it right back out. Then I go to push the silver coin, and here I like re-show it as if like, oh, it's really there. And then I go to do the Chinese coin, and I load the copper coin with the Chinese coin, and I come out immediately showing nothing. So psychologically, this is a really nice loading sequence, because the one that is not legitimate is the first one. So this is not legitimate, but here it is legitimate. You could show it's legitimate. And here you're adding something, but you're able to show that I didn't steal anything. So it just really looks like, oh, okay, copper, silver, Chinese, they've all been set underneath the cards. And then I like to pretend as if I was going to take the copper coin out, and just a bluff like, oh, I could touch the coin, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do it all hands off. And so here, the first one is all just mime, doing nothing. Lift up the card, freebie, copper coin's going across. And here, you say, let's see, did it work? And you lift up the card, kind of like a door, lever, and you reach underneath it, and you just flip over the copper silver and show the copper side, and then flip it over again and show the silver side. So you're getting the copper silver acting as two coins. So you say, look, the copper coin has jumped here to join the silver coin. And just for details, when I flip over the copper coin and set it down, I move over and then pick up the silver coin. Just I like paying attention to that kind of stuff. So the copper coin has jumped here to join the silver coin. And now we say, oh, we'll do 2. You do 2, and now you have to do only 1 pickup move, and you get a vanish of 2 coins. So you've got the copper silver hidden, and you just put that over here in the pile as you draw attention over here and say, now if it worked. And so you lift up, and so what you're looking at here, again, is the Chinatown half and the real copper coin. And the sequence is important. You pick up first the copper and you say, the copper has joined. And as you put it back down, you actually pinch it against the card. So as you put that back down, you're going to pinch it against the card. So the copper has joined, and then you flip the silver. The copper and the silver have joined the Chinese, and you flip it over and show the Chinese coin. And so now what you're able to do, because you've pinched the copper coin, is pull it back, and that will just allow the card, once the coin clears, to fall. So you don't have to like shove it down and steal the coin into palm. You can just pull it back, and the card will fall once the coin clears, and you can rest back. And depending on your comfort, finger palm is fine, or you can transfer to classic palm, because now you're going to say, ooh, I'll do it one more time. I'll take 3. And you mime taking 3, and then you act like, oh, where should I put those 3? And then you have an epiphany like, oh, I'll do the cow. And so you pick up the cow, pick up the purse, and so you've got the coin either in finger palm or classic palm, it doesn't matter. As you just draw attention to it, say, oh, I'll do here. And so you set this purse down, and what you're going to do is drop the coin from palm, and then set the purse on top of it. So you drop the coin from palm, draw the purse over and set it on top and say, I'll do it in purse. You bring it center stage, like, I'll just do it in here. And so then you do the mime, taking the 3 coins, drop them inside. So once again, you only have 1 coin to do the pickup move, where they just saw 3 there a moment ago, and you set them over here. Now, if these are magnetic, like mine are right now, this is great, because you could just pick this stack up because the coins pinch the card, and they go with the card. And so that's great, and I can slide them off and lap the unit while I display the cards. If they are not magnetic, which is the way I used to do this, because I created this routine before I had the magnetic coins. If they're not magnetic, you just have to be more intentional. So you have to pinch, because when they're magnetic, I can just grab them. They're going to stick to the card. They're pinching the card. When they're not magnetic, you can still pinch the 2 coins between the stack of cards and lift them all up, because the coins are separated by a card, so they're not going to clink against each other or do anything like that. So you can pick up the stack of cards and either just ditch the whole thing, or you can allow those 2 coins to fall, depending on the level of ambient noise, into finger palm and then display the cards. Often I would just ditch the cards straight into the pocket with the coins and go, nothing. Coins are gone, but here inside the cow, which you examined, which was totally empty before, so you got the copper coin underneath, you just lift up the purse with the copper coin behind it. Oh, I feel something, you open it, and I let them look inside just for a moment, because they're going to see coins clearly inside, and then I dump, and so you're just dumping those 2 and letting the coin from behind fall with it. And so it's nice because now you've ended, they began examinable, and it ends examinable. So I call that a trick with a cow. Questions? Or is that good?
Yeah, well, no, that's great. But I do recall that you started that whole thing with this really amazing spellbound sequence with, like multiple changes. And did you want to explain that part as well?
I'm totally willing to. The thing is, literally right now, it's not possible to get the coins that I'm using.
Yeah.
I've looked to see if other people were making similar things, but they're not. But I'm happy to explain it, because maybe someone else will start making these coins.
Yeah. I just think for completeness, I'd like to know it, and maybe somebody will be inspired and they'll see this and they'll start making them. I'm
happy to explain this. This is so the great thing about spellbound, right? Your coins are changing. Triple spellbound is awesome, because usually you do triple spellbound with a copper silver and then, a 3rd coin, right? And for whatever reason, that combination of methods seems to eliminate both. It's just it's so strong. People's like, well, you can't have a 3-sided coin. Like, maybe he's using 2 coins, but he's changing it into 3. So triple spellbound is great for that effect. However, I have found that it is actually possible to have a 3-sided coin, and that's what I've got here. So I have a split. So split coins. I have a split coin, but each face is different. So this is a split Chinese coin, and it's actually got a hole in the center. This is a split copper side, and so it's just a normal, like the Johnny Wong Super Triple or any of the others, except each face is different. And I looked, and right now, no one is making, as far as I can tell, anything but silver triple silver split coins, so you can't even buy like other coins and like make the set necessary yourself. As far as I'm aware, I would love it if someone was. But so when you have split coins, you can actually have a three-sided coin. So here I have the silver and the Chinese are the heads coins, and the copper is the tail. And so I'm able to show the silver, and I'll do like false turnovers and whatnot, just casually. I'm not saying, look, it's only silver. I'm just saying, it's a $50. I don't know if you've seen one of these before. There's actually technically still money. They're not really made of silver, but it's kind of silver colored. And then I'll do just a cover and turn. So that's what I'm doing, cover and turn. So I'll say this silver coin, it's like this copper coin. This is an Australian penny. I don't think you've seen this before. It's got a kangaroo on one side, and I guess that's the Prime Minister. And then I'll say, and it's like the silver coin. So I'm just turning it back. Say, but it's a totally different coin. Both coins are like, and so here what I do is I pick up this silver coin, and as I go to put it back, I just draw back that silver face. I peel it back to show the Chinese coin. And then I actually let that silver coin lay on the thumb. I use the thumb to lower it down into the finger palm so that this hand is still clean. So it looks like this. You rub the silver coin and lay it down onto the finger palm, with the silver side still facing up as I change into a Chinese coin. Now, I have colored my copper coins center black, because I think, in my mind, that's the most natural thing to go with, is black. Some people will do like hand color, or like they'll put a paper or something for like Chinatown halves, things like that. I think black is best, because that could just be shadow, right? And black behind. And but you also are able to, and which I do, is I draw attention to the fact that there's a hole by lifting up this coin, and I peel the copper coin back, the slide back, and that just reveals the hole. So as I peel it up and I kind of look through it, and it's like, look, you see the hole, and I'll draw attention to it. And so just as a subtlety, like, oh, so you see it's a real hole, and then I immediately, now it's not a real hole, but I don't care about that at all. It is, the black in my opinion is best. So it's like, look, it's got a hole in it, and that's a lot like that copper coin, and so now I'm just, again, doing spin, spin, spin. So I do the Chinese coin back to the copper, or I do the Chinese coin back to the copper coin, I'll do it back to the Chinese. I'll do it a couple times. I have a specific pattern I usually use where I'll go, the Chinese coin is a lot like the copper coin, except the Chinese coin's made of brass, copper coin's made of copper. Chinese coin's got a hole in the center, copper coin doesn't. So you end on the copper coin. That's the important thing. You end on the copper coin. So then as you display the copper coin, what you're able to do is just add the silver face back where it belongs, which is on top of the Chinese coin. So you come up from finger palm and you add the silver coin back on top, just in the act of displaying, and then you can just flip it over. And so you get that kind of final change where you say, back to the copper, I personally like the silver the best. And so you actually have a spellbound where you can triple spellbound, where you regularly should be showing your hands empty, because it is an actual three-sided coin. And so maybe someone please start making split coins in other denominations than just silver.
Yep. And if you're out there and you're going to make those, definitely paint that center black. It looks good. It fooled me the whole way.
Well, I've had a lot of fun. I thank you guys for having me out here. That's all I had planned to do. If there's no other questions, I had a blast.
Jeremiah, we had fun too. You've given me a newfound appreciation for what's possible with coins, and I think that you've pushed the boundaries presentation wise too, because a lot of coin magic is just demonstrating that it does this or it does that, and that's all fine. But I like a lot of the other things. So what you've taken with them, and man, for anybody out there like me, that this is their first introduction to the drop, I think they're probably as inspired and as excited as I am to get a chance to try it out and learn it and have a lot of fun with it. So I think all the stuff that you've shown us, fantastic. Thank you so much for being here and sharing it with us.
Thank you guys for having me. This was a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. For us too. And thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time.